You know what I just dreamt about? Well, you can find out soon when I start my own website on Squarespace. Because Squarespace is the all-in-one platform for when you want to make your own website. They got domains, they got analytics. This whole thing is so dang easy to use and get my website about taking pictures of actual hot tubs into fruition. And then you know what? If I want to start selling these prints of these pictures of hot tubs, and if I wanted to start selling, I don't know, let's say framed pictures of these hot tubs, then Squarespace has got my back too, because they have online stores. They've got all the stuff that I need for e-commerce and all the stuff that my budding photography hot tub business boom. I can sell products, I can sell gift cards, digital products, subscriptions to perhaps a calendar of hot tub photos, or my services to take pictures of your hot tub. And they got domains, so we can use Jan takes pictures of hottubs.com, .net, .org, or maybe like an even more granular one, like Jan takes photos of hottubs.art. Squarespace is the perfect place to showcase your work. You can blog or publish content, and they got a whole suite of creative tools to make your website, your dreams, look even better than they look in your noggin. Go to squarespace.com/bombcast for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use the offer code BOMBCAST to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thanks, Squarespace. Hey, everybody, it's Tuesday. Welcome to the Giant Bombcast, episode 750. I'll make sure to call behind and points because I got your back, because you're getting extra points today, baby. My name is Jan Ochoa, and we've got the right amount of cooks in the kitchen today. He's working the broiler, and he is on soup duty because he's got some hot stuff coming up today. We got Chef Grubb.
Yo, how's it going?
Make sure you say yes, Jeff, or yes, Chef when he talks, because he's on expo duty today. We got Jeff Bacalar.
Hey, what's up, Chef? How are you, Chef?
Yes, Chef.
Yes, Chef.
Jeff, have you gone back now on your stance on chefs? Because you were kind of anti-chef for a while.
I knew this was coming. I knew you'd fucking line me up.
Time to pay the piper, Bacalar.
I still think it's bullshit. I'm sorry. Like, I love bullshit? The bear. I'll tell you, Michael Higham.
Okay, all right, cool.
Oh, okay. Let's introduce our
do that, and we'll get back.
First. Yeah. And my sous chef, or actually my susio chef for today, my kababayan from another kitchen. That didn't work as much as I thought it would.
I loved it, actually. You should have just gone with it.
Michael Higham of Fanbyte, folks.
Hey, Bastos gang, Bastos boys, Pokey boys in the building. You know the vibes. Listen, to all my haters, get on my level.
You have haters?
I'm just kidding. We're cool. We're chill. We're gonna have a good episode. If you missed 3 years ago to this day, to that special bombcast we talk about Evo, we running it back.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Get ready.
Forget rollback
year
netcode.
Follow up.
It's rollback podcast code. Okay, Jeff.
Okay.
Let's get back to Chefgate here.
Couple things we have to catch up on, so remind me after this bit. So look, like I think I said a couple, I don't know when I said it, I still believe it, but there's something about like chefs who go around being like, I've earned the right to be called chef.
Okay.
As in the same way like a doctor goes around saying to be called, like, I don't think they're equal.
I don't think I've ever heard a chef claim that they are equivalent to a doctor.
No. Agreed. No one is that psychotic, but
okay.
But I have been in the presence of like quasi-celebrity chef people who are just like, they kind of use chef as like the thing they want to be addressed as.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like,
And I don't
like
I just don't think like outside of the kitchen I need to be calling you chef. Like does your mail come like Chef Jan Ochoa, blah 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 Lane? Like no.
I think that's just, I'm with, but I also think it's weird even when a doctor does that. Please call me doctor. No.
Yeah, I don't
you're
think
Tim.
anyone.
I grew up with you, Tim.
That's fair. But I have a much easier time doing it with doctors.
Okay. Yes. I
And
can
much
see that too.
and like I wouldn't even think twice. Right? I'd be like, okay, yeah, okay, doctor. But with a chef, I'd be like,
Listen,
I think the
I
big,
just don't know if you're getting that from me, Dave.
Medical school seems very difficult. It also seems like a cakewalk compared to having to deal with a kitchen staff for like 20 years and not having been put in prison for murder, because those are the real people. Those are the real folk who will who make it happen back in the kitchen. And if you've dealt with them and come out still to be a chef,
To be clear,
you've earned some shit.
this is not me on the offensive and you coming to the defense of all chefs everywhere. We are all in agreement that life in the kitchen is probably terrible, right?
Yeah.
And you never fuck with people who touch your food, right? Like I've got people I know who they're just garbage people, and I do not like the person they become when they're in a restaurant and they're being waited on. Like they're just bad, right?
Yeah.
You don't fuck with people who touch your food. Okay, you treat them with respect.
Yeah.
But when we're outside the real world,
all bets are off. You got jumped.
I just can't address you like it's just not the same to me. Like it's not doctor level reasoning of like changing the way I address you outside.
So then, what about
kitchen.
the bear? Oh, sound's gone. Sound died.
Sound is gone.
Yeah, just for our boy, just for our people listening on the podcast. What about everyone calling you the chef? Like, what if on that show where everyone's a chef? I really dig that. I'm kind of like,
I dig it too.
Kitchen.
I dig it too, but it's because it makes sense within the kitchen. I get it. It's also sort of a joke there too, because they obviously all can't be chef, right?
Because it's a sign of respect, right?
And it's a sign of like camaraderie, right? And
Yeah.
mutual respect, and how everyone's job is just as important as the person next to them, whether you're a dishwasher or you're a sous chef or whatever. And I love that. And I think that is the right mentality for teams, right? And like teamwork. But outside the kitchen, in the kitchen, yeah. Chef, cousin, chef, because I love it. I think that show's tremendous show. Amazing.
Yes, the bear is. I feel like FX is like on a really big, strong like TV kick because
they can't do wrong. Really.
I mean, they got It's Always Sunny. They got the bear, and I was very dismissive of the bear. Atlanta. Oh, geez, I forgot about Atlanta.
Dude,
Atlanta's probably like one of my favorite. Well, I got some thoughts on Atlanta, but overall, like Atlanta's probably like one of my favorate shows
I
of
just
all time.
started watching The Americans too, and I'm like, oh yeah, FX, Fargo's one of my favorite shows.
They had Nip Tuck, Fargo. What was that show? They had The League. People love The League. American
Reservation Dogs is really good.
Dude.
Yeah, I intend to start Reservation Dogs soon. It looks awesome.
Yeah. Nip
I mean,
Tuck did feel like 50 years ago. Dang.
Bacalar, can we just admit it though? As two Jeffs here, we just don't like that Chef sounds so close to Jeff. That's what we're really concerned about. That's what we really hate.
Chef Bacalar, Chef Grubb. Chef Grubb
Grubb
is a fire AKA.
Chef Grubb is like a brand I would buy.
Chef Grubb, ooh.
It's my name on Twitter for shit posting only. Absolutely.
Nice.
Oh, it's your private.
Well,
It's
you
your
just
private.
blew your cover.
Yeah,
It's your okay. Your friend stuff?
I was when I jumped on in the pre-show. The first thing I said to Jan, because I was texting him last night, I was like, I just finished the bear and I need to talk to somebody, basically. And then when I got on just now, I'm like, some people, the way they say chef, it sounds like Jeff, and like you can't not hear that in your Jeff mind,
in your Jeff
right?
brain,
Your Jeff brain.
Yeah, we've been trained.
And it's just very so. But I enjoy that. But again, the chef people really are jealous of Jeffs of the world because they do get to be called that everywhere they go. That must suck.
Stupid.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna do a hard pivot.
Heard Jeff. Heard.
Yes, hard pivot. The other day in our Discord, if you're not a member of our Discord, you should definitely be a member of the Discord.
Giant Bomb Discord.
Okay. What is it? Discord.gg/giantbomb? Is that?
Yes.
I think that works.
I feel like that's going to get you there. So I was telling everyone in there about this insane a hornet situation.
Oh no.
Outside my house. I sent you a photo of it. I don't know how easy it is to pull that up. I sent it in the Discord general chat there.
I just dealt with one last week. I want to hear yours, and we'll compare notes.
So it's my neighbor's. It's their tree, but we're very tight. Like we're very close, and I'm just like, hey, have you guys seen it? So yeah, I've been teaching my kid how to ride a bike, and he sat down on the curb because he's getting a little frustrated. He's like, this sucks, and the wind blew a little bit, and it perfectly moved the branches to reveal a hornet's nest the size of a fucking bowling ball.
Yeah.
Like this thing is a heavy boy.
Suck.
You seeing it, Jen?
Yes.
No, I'm not seeing it. I'm just imagining it because I've run into hives before.
All right, I'm gonna. If you have the capacity, I'll send it to you separately here.
Send it to me via Slack.
Slack, okay. So this thing is one of those hefty boys that almost looks like someone else put it there. Like you're almost just like, how the fuck did bugs do this? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. It's so impressive. Where does it
come from? Like they're like real builders. Like these are the architects of the animal world. I'm saying as I destroy the thing, but keep going.
No, but it's like, and everyone's going to come at me and be like, yo, the bald face hornet is a friend to the ecosystem.
Fucking just don't build it on my goddamn shed. That's all.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it seems important and I don't want to get rid of it. But like, I also got family to protect.
Yeah, you got to hold your ground.
Like it is terrifying. And this thing is busy. It is like Times Square. It's constantly activity. And like, you have to get rid of that. Like you can't just so my neighbor last night, he texted me, he goes, I'm going out there. I'm going to do it. I'm like, what are you doing, Peter? Don't do that. He's like,
you have to do it at night.
He's like, I put on overalls and a mask and a whole thing. And I read that all I have to do is just like drench this thing in whatever spray. Oh my god, there it is. Look at the size of that thing.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
it's like a planet.
Demon's heart is what it looks like.
It's a planet. Oh my god. So he sprays it for like 30 seconds. He runs back in the house. I go out this morning, they've rebuilt. They've just like they've persevered. No. They're fine. They're like, now we're mad. Now I was like, all you do is make 4,000 hornets upset with the people who live next door. So I don't know what to do.
So here's what I did with mine.
Yeah,
they built on my shed, which they will destroy the wood. So I definitely had to do something. It wasn't like, oh, this is just nature. Let it take its course. No, F that. Also, I discovered them because I was mowing and I was doing my cute little crisscross pattern with my mower, and I just go around the shed and I come back
in the grass.
Yeah, JG in there. Yeah, just Chef Grubb written out.
Nice.
And I come up behind the shed. I'm like looking down. I'm listening to a podcast. I'm in my happy little place, and then I'm like, oh. Is either the sky is coming apart or there's something right above my field of vision, and I look up and the sound of the mower and me coming right at them has made them very upset, and it is totally, they are doing, what is it called when they like rage again? Like they are
they're moshing.
Yes, they are moshing essentially. They're moshing in the sky, and there was hundreds of them, if not like north of 1,000. Like I'm like, oh my god! So we back off. I run inside. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to figure this out. And it took me like a couple of days to like come up with a plan. I read that they can't see very well at night, so I was like, okay, I'll go out at dusk and I'll spray the hell out of them. And the spray didn't do anything. So it killed some of them. But it didn't do anything about the actual hive. The hive was fine. So I went and I sprayed it right in the hole. I could see the hole where they were going in.
Oh boy.
Not enough. So one night
I went to empty a can in there. Like
you have to physically remove it.
Yeah.
So
can't you
for it to get dark.
People? Like
yes, that's the right move.
You probably could call people, but it's like it'd be expensive, and they're just going to do the thing I ended up doing. Yeah. So I waited for it to get pitch black. I took my hatchet. And I went out there and because it's like hanging off like the side of the shed, like right where the roof comes down, like where it meets, and it's like right there, and it's gigantic. So I just kind of do this thing. Okay, I'm going to spray it, and then I'm going to wear a mask, and then I'm gonna try to like hatchet off pieces of it. And I kind of hatchet it, and the hatchet basically just goes right through it like butter.
Ooh,
and
clean.
Most of it's still up there. And I'm like, okay, so it's not going to just knock down cleanly. Maybe if I had a bat, that would have worked. But now they're pissed and they can't see, but I'm like mostly okay.
And they're like stumbling in the night. They're like, oh,
they're stumbling in the night. They are definitely attacking. They're trying to attack anything they can sort of feel, but they can't see it. So I go get in there and I sort of just get the hatchet and I come up behind it between the wood and the thing and I knock it clear off. And I'm like, okay, now I'm going to back up. And I have my headlamp on. And it's just shining into the darkness, and I can see them all pissed, except for one just comes straight at the light. It is zooming straight at the light, and I reach my hand out to like swat it away. It like fucking Mr. Miyagi. It ends up perfectly between my fingers, and I'm like,
no way.
Yes, 100%. And I'm like, oh my god! I just throw it, and I sprint inside like the biggest little baby. It was like really scary, but I'm like. I think it might have barely like nicked my finger because my finger definitely fell. It could have been power suggestion, but my finger felt like I got pinched, but or poked. But yeah, and that was that. They haven't come back. They decided to go. Whatever lived decided to go build somewhere else. I think. I think they might be on another side of
man. Yeah. Grubb rolled up to that hive and was just
hit him with the 2-frame counter.
There we go.
Exactly.
That show's wild.
Right.
Did that play at all?
You're brave.
What?
Is that coming through at all? No? Okay, that may
I
just
don't
be
hear
me.
anything.
Anyway, the audio gag is not going to work then. The folks at home heard it, so that's more important.
That's
there
what's
we go.
important.
Yeah, that actually counts then.
Hope they enjoy that.
You know what, Jan? We'll never have these problems because we're never going to be homeowners. So
I was going to say that to you, Michael.
I can't relate. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what you get for being the geriatric millennials.
Yeah, where do you keep your shed? I don't understand.
What's a shed?
Tiny little house you keep outside of your normal house. It's your secret.
Shouts out to all my elder emos out there, man.
Yeah, man. Someone's got to be king of the elder millennials, right?
Yeah.
Someone's got to be it. Someone's got to wear that crown.
Wearing puffy DCs, baggy jeans, and playing power chords to newfound glory.
Oh my god!
Exactly.
Oh that is. I haven't been able to get this joke out of my head since we started talking about chefs. But what's the canned ravioli? What's that called again?
Chef Boyardee's nuts.
Chef Boyardee.
There we go. Chef Boyardee's nuts. Let's talk about games.
There we go.
Oh man,
Got him. Got me.
Hornets.
Michael, you good? You're holding your heart.
Ow! Fuck! Oh shit! Ow! Damn! I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm all right.
All right.
Aw.
Well,
That was weird.
Now I'm going to continue to put you on the spot because this past weekend was Evo weekend.
Oh, we're getting into it.
We're going to get right into it. Let's get spicy. I didn't get the chance to watch any of Evo, but you were on the show floor, like literally next to the stage.
Yeah.
What's popping? What popped off at Evo?
Oh my god, everything, man. I love Evo. I went 3 years ago. Obviously 2020, 2021, they had to do online. So this is the first year it's back. And it's the first year that Sony taking ownership of Evo and running the show. And it's grown a lot. And I think it's got actually being there is, it feels like it's more, it's well produced. Evo was always dope because like the competition's always going to be fire. Like you're always going to see the best player, the best of the best play each other in games. But all the stuff outside of Evo, it felt like it was like, oh, this feels like a more well put together convention. So yeah, Evo was happening in Las Vegas Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I went kind of for work. I did a few work things, but I'm also there to enjoy it because I love being in the mix with the FGC and to enjoy myself and link up with a lot of dope folks that I don't see often because it's mostly through Twitter. So I got to hang out with a lot of people from other outlets, and
sick.
I got to kick it with like some of the top names in the FGC also, and kind of just get a feel for where they're at, how they feel about the fighting game scene, how they feel about Evo coming back, all this sort of stuff. So yeah, me and Imran was rolling deep with folks like not Jesse Vitelli, the fuck. I'm getting my white boys mixed up. Not Eric Van Allen, Alex Van Aken from Game Informer.
We're all the same.
Third one's a char. Shouts out to my homeboys. But yeah, I was kicking it with Khalif Adams, and I got to see folks like Tasty Steve, Markman. Shouts out to San Diego Tekken. It's another shout out of the day. SD Tekken. I used to play Tekken with Markman and his brother Alex in the arcades back in the day.
Man. Yes.
Alex, man, yep. So yeah, it's really cool. But Yeah, there's you go to Evo and you're not just there to watch fighting game competitions because there's arcade cabinets all across the floor.
Mhm.
So I was playing like Third Strike. I was playing older builds of like Under Night, and all kinds of older games are set up in arcade cabinets. I was playing DDR for like an hour.
How was the DDR report?
The DDR machine is
fighting game.
Yo, fighting for my life out there. God damn. I am so washed. I used to play a lot of DDR back in the day, but I haven't been exercising very much since various medical problems. But I got on the machine and I still got it. I'm like, oh shit, I can still see them.
I gotta ask, Dog. Are you a bar guy in DDR or no bar?
I used to be both hands on the bar, but I think that it limits my flexibility because if you play songs on extreme, you have to do crossovers.
Whoa.
And if you can't really do crossovers that well if you have both hands on the bar. So I only use one hand on the bar when like it's to a certain BPM. So it affords me that flexibility. So yeah,
I didn't know that about Evo. I just thought it was strictly the fighting tournaments and whatnot. I had no idea it was like a whole scene.
Yeah, dude. Jeff, like I'm not a fighting game person by any means, but when Ben and I went for the site, God, how long ago was that? Maybe
That was 2018.
2018.
4 years ago,
Christ.
yeah.
4 years
I remember
ago.
watching y'all.
It was probably like one of the funnest gaming convention tournaments I've like been to. Like it was more fun than going to PAX, even though like GB, we always have a panel. Like going to Evo, it was like a completely different vibe because like everyone there is trying to flex, not be super drunk out of their minds because of Vegas, and just like the hype levels at Evo, like hearing a whole stadium just chant for like one dude's name because they're very good at Tekken is like absolutely wild. And then just like seeing how hyped people get after they win. I didn't catch any of the finals, Michael, but is there out of the games on top, out of the top 8s or like the finals, is there any specific game you recommend? I saw a lot of people popping off for Tekken.
Yeah. So if you want to watch back.
Yeah.
So for me personally, Melty Blood I was there for Melty Blood. I love Melty Blood. I talk about Soft Circle French Bread, there and like the lineage of Arc System Works and like people playing Melty Blood in bathroom floors on their laptops and Taco Bell parking lots. I love Melty Blood to death. If you love anime fighters, that's the one to check out. I was front row getting hyped. They had me on the end of show reel. I was like, I looking really intense at the Melty Blood finals, man. I love that game. That's my number one game. But I think if you want to watch like an important run and something that's probably the most entertaining, the Street Fighter V top 8 was fucking hype. And like everything at Evo, like everything is hype. But I feel like the Street Fighter V held a lot of it kind of. I think I don't want to be super like come off as like exaggerating, but it's like a piece of FGC history. It feels like because IDOM, who is like one of the best Street Fighter players, is like I think it's his first Evo.
Evo, dang.
Yeah, and I think he was the only American player in the top 8. And he had to come out of the losers bracket, but he was one of the favorites to make it to the finals. But he had to go through the losers bracket, and he made a clean run straight to the grand finals. And he had to run through some legendary players. Like he beat almost all of the top Japanese players, some of the ones that were favorites. So he defeated Daigo, the legend
Daigo
himself.
is competing. Oh,
Daigo
dang.
the Beast. Yes. Yeah, he was so for me, I was like, yo, I want to see Daigo in the grand finals, but I know IDOM, and I'm like, yo, that's the homie, and I want to see him win it all. So early on, I think it was the losers quarterfinals. It was IDOM versus Daigo, and IDOM handled that like a boss. I think I went to a game 5, and I was like, damn, I really hope IDOM makes it because obviously I want to see him win. But to see him, because he's younger, he's a new generation. Daigo is a legend. Yeah. And to kind of see like this transition between like old generation and newer generation, and seeing IDOM kind of like, listen, I got this, I'm moving on, and especially having him knock out Daigo, like really puts him on the map. But like that whole stadium was rooting for IDOM because he was the only American player, and this is, it's in Vegas, in America.
I was saying there was one other U.S. player in the top 8.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know, but that's what chat's saying.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Who was
my bad.
Item playing as?
Laura. And you don't see many top level players playing Laura.
Who's
SF5.
Laura?
DLC character? I don't know. I wasn't that deep in SF5, so my bad. But yeah, and then he defeaed Tokido, who is also was one of the favorites to make it to the finals. And he beat Gachikun, who lost from the winners finals. So he ran through him and then faced what's his name? The winner. Forgot his name. Damn, I was saying this up to him. But yeah, Idom made it to the grand finals. I think chat might know.
What's like the vibe? Like, what are these guys sort of like? Like, what are these people sort of like? Like,
they're chill.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like because I talked to Ni, who won the Tekken 7 finals.
Yeah.
And also talked to Umisho, who was the Guilty Gear champion. And they're all like, it's wild because they play at the highest level on the biggest stages. But when you talk to them, they're just like very humble and they're very, kind of not quiet, but they're just
reserved.
Very low. Yeah, they're very low key.
Yeah.
And I guess that's kind of like the juxtaposition between like being at the high level. You have to kind of keep your cool because you see people popping off and flexing and like other tournaments too, and that's cool and all. But some of the like across the board, the best players are just very like kept to themselves. And,
yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because like if you Bacalar, if you're looking at pools, which is like the bottom of the bracket, right? Like you will get people talking so much trash all the time, and then they will immediately get like knocked out of contention like ASAP. I remember when I went, like there was a dude that like was talking so much trash. He won the first round, and then he said, "That's right, Chicago style. We gotta deep dick you down." And then I was like, "Whoa! You can't say that." And then he immediately got beat like by 2 rounds. So karma.
Like, for a lot of people, trash talking is like half the battle. Like, I feel like that's a win for them, where they're just like, I'm gonna go out there and fucking do all the shit talking that I've been practicing in my head for the last 6 months, preparing for this moment. I'll win there, but I'll get that big L when it counts.
Yeah. So SF5 champion Kawano. Sorry, I forgot his name.
Okay.
Yeah, but that went to going back to SF5. The reason why it was like so iconic is because Idom reset the bracket. If you come out of losers, I've said this 3 years ago, is that if you come out of losers bracket, you have to win a whole set to reset the bracket, and then if you want to win, oh shit, they're looking for me.
CBSI is looking for
you. But yeah, you have to win 3 games if you came out of the losers bracket, and then you can. That's where you compete. Like you can win the championship from there. So it's an uphill battle if you come out of losers bracket. And Idom did that. Like he reset the bracket, and then that went to a game 5 final round. Like you can't make this shit up.
Damn.
It's like storybook style matchup right here. Final round, final match for the championship to get first place, win the grand finals at Evo. And they both had like the same amount of health. They had like half a health bar, and it was like the first person to confirm and land their combo, if they don't drop their combo, is gonna win this match. And I was on the floor with Imran and Idom's people and Aaron Ashley Simon, who runs Xset, who's the team he signed to. Shouts out to the homegirl Aaron Simon. She's dope. And we were all getting hype down there. We're like, yo, Idom, the homie, could be the best. I mean, he's still one of the best Street Fighter players, period.
Totally.
But if you win this, there's no doubt at all that he is the best Street Fighter 5 player in the world.
That's cool.
And so close. Man, you could just feel the energy in the stadium in that last round. Like, and folks probably are aware of how esports is, but there's not like fighting games
it's
such an immediate feeling because it's right there. It's 1v1.
Quick.
You could see it happen right there. It's not like watching CS:GO or Valorant where it's like team strategies. Sometimes
super fast.
If someone clutches something, that's cool and that's hype. But there's something about the energy and like the 1v1 aspect and
for sure.
the intimacy of fighting games really lends itself well to the viewer experience, especially when you're in person in a full ass stadium full of people who are like invested in the FGC. Like you don't go to Evo unless you're invested in the fighting game scene.
Or if you do go to Evo, you'll quickly become enraptured in all of it.
Yeah, that too.
Bacalar?
Was this a meme or was this real? I saw like someone had an Amazon box around their hands so no one could see what they were doing.
Oh yeah,
is that a joke or real?
I think so. I saw that on my timeline. I saw it on my timeline. I don't think that's someone can correct me if I'm wrong because I was like on the floor watching a bunch of other stuff.
So chat saying it's real, but like also,
reels in chat. So
why? Like why disguise? Like what are your fingers doing that like
you could be like prepping for like a move, you know?
Hey, if you're allowed to hide it and like I'll in the same vein as like someone who wants to hide their eyes in poker, like
I don't think a competitor has that kind of peripheral vision.
Yeah.
Like anticipating something.
There's this guy. I love it. He's just like hands in a box.
All right, relax.
It's cool.
If you're telegraphing, if someone's able to telegraph your moves from your hand movements on your stick, that's on you.
Yeah.
That's a you problem. You shouldn't be like winding up.
Michael, did you get a chance to pick up and try Street Fighter 6 at all? Was that playable on the floor?
Oh yeah, I did. It was playable. I played against Justin Wong, another FGC legend.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so I had an appointment with Imran, and we I'm pointing like he's right next to me. So my boy Imran right here. So we actually got to get an appointment with Capcom. We pulled up, and Justin Wong was playing at one of the stations, and I was like, "Yo, can I play against him?" And Capcom was like, "He's been here for 2 hours. He's probably gonna be here for another 2 hours. So you can just ask him if you can play with him." And I was like, "Yo, Justin, what's up, man? Like, nice to meet you. Can you whoop my ass?" Because for me, like, I'm here there to capture gameplay footage.
Yeah.
And I'm not a great Street Fighter player, but I know someone who is. He's won many championships. So I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna capture some gameplay footage. Do you mind like playing against me? And like feel free to go all out because I just want to make sure the gameplay capture is good." So I was, yeah, sure, yeah, let's go. And yeah, I got to get hands on with it. I accidentally had the casual control scheme on for like the first couple matches.
Nice.
So I was like mad confused. I was like, what the did they like completely redesign Street Fighter? Because I do not remember it controlling like this. And then Justin was like, "Oh, you have modern control set." I'm like, "Oh, snap, damn. That's why you've been whooping my ass."
That's why.
There you go.
A likely excuse.
So I set it back to classic. Nothing changed in terms of me doing any better, but at least I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. I remember how this plays," and I think and that was a ton of fun. I think Luke plays really well. I really like how he plays. Obviously, Kimberly and Juri weren't playable because they were just announced at the convention or at Evo, and but yeah, I played Ryu, played Chun-Li, mostly played Luke because I like how he plays. Although he looks wild problematic. Like, oh, I know Luke said some shit back in the day, but you know what? He's one of these. He's a ton of fun to play.
Yeah,
and I think the juxtaposition between like getting hands on with Street Fighter 6 and then watching Street Fighter 5 the next day, it's almost like night and day.
Totally.
In terms of like the fluidity and the styling, and I started to remember how SF5 played. Like Street Fighter 6 is so much smoother, and just the look of it, the style, the way the characters are designed is night and day. It's 1000% better. Like like the faces and like the stages in Street Fighter 5. I'm like, oh damn, this game kind of looks like ass. I'm not gonna lie, like SF5 still at its core is still a good game, right? Yeah. But going to Street Fighter 6, like, oh, I'm excited for this. I want to play this. I want to get good at this game because it just feels like much more refined and just much more visually interesting from a spectator's perspective, but also as the player, like, this is a game that I want to get into, that I can be like excited to play with others. So yeah, it's really cool.
I resisted the annual urge to download a fighting game and try and become good and then just abandon it like 5 minutes later. I think with Street Fighter 6, I might just try. I might just try and get good.
I think it's worth it.
Grubb, you got a stick, Bacalar, you got a stick at home?
got a 8-bit DOS stick for the Switch. I'll use that. I'll plug that into anything. I don't care.
No, I'm essentially stickless.
Hate to see
It's
it.
true. This man has no stick.
This man, nice, well done. I fucking can't I can't even imagine being so good at something that you're like competing in a way that the best people in the world are side by side. Like, I'm just so average at everything. That's me. Just like average ass back.
No, I feel you. I feel you there, but I have no ass. It's just a long back. I just can't get
back,
into
gang.
No, in that I think I have an above average ass, but in terms of like,
I'm caked up for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeff, yeah, you look like you're caked up.
Damn right.
Yeah, like people describe it as too small for my build, but they're wrong. Yeah, like I just wish I was good at something. Like I have such fucking random things that I'm good at that no one gives a fuck about. No one cares about my fucking skills.
Pinball.
Yeah, well,
actually, that's a skill.
I'm probably well above average at pinball, but like, that's all right. So sure. I don't know. I just have weird skills.
But like some of the top players play with controller now. It's more common to see like like back in the day to see people using controllers. Guilty Gear Strive champion play on most. I think a lot of Guilty Gear top players play with controller.
Are they playing with like what type of controller? Is it like a 360 or like Xbox or
regular ass PlayStation? Like I saw mostly DualShock 4s.
Wow.
I think some DualShock or DualSenses for Guilty Gear because PS5 game, or you can play on PS5, or assume a lot of people play on PS5. But yeah, like personally, I think that the DualShock 4 is probably one of the best gamepads for fighting games because I like how the D-pad feels. I don't like how the Xbox controller feels on the D-pad, but I mostly prefer stick. If I could, I would try to get good at using a hitbox or like that style, like hitbox style.
Yeah,
thing,
I've thought about
a lot more precise. But I have to you have to rewire your brain, especially if you play on stick for a long time.
Yeah.
At least that's how I feel. Like you have to
People
rewire.
I wonder what a hitbox is. It's the one that has like the actual buttons dedicated for movement, right?
Yeah.
Instead of having a stick, you have buttons for movement, so you could do like backward and forward at the same time and get like an advantage, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
I didn't even think about that implication. Are hitboxes allowed in the competition? I know people bring them.
was using it, right?
They're as common or not. They're not common, but they're they're allowed. Like I feel like back in the day, people used to get salty about those who were like good using a hitbox style thing. Hitbox is a company, I think. So I think, but most people just call them hitbox because you know exactly what you're talking about.
Got it.
But yeah, like people used to get heated about it, but I think now it's much more common, so that no one's really gonna start shit because you're using one. Like
this is only tangentially related, but like I was when I was sick, I was watching this Tetris competition video. And like NES Tetris, and motherfuckers were like holding the controller like basically like this in their hand and like tapping the back of it. Like
they don't just tap it. They it's called a roll. You roll your fingers along it, and this enables you to do a faster input of the D-pad than anyone's ever done before. And these are kids coming up and dominating Tetris. It's a whole new generation.
Destroying Tetris. Oh my God.
Also, Chad, they're saying if your hitbox doesn't disallow you from doing two different cardinal directions at once, it's not allowed. That's actually an illegal hitbox. So
shouts out to Jeff on chat duty.
Yeah, I got him. I'm like, help us out here. I don't know where I'm at. You tell me where I'm at. Thank you, Chad.
But yeah. What else y'all want to know about Evo? This shit was amazing.
Sounds good, man. I may have to check back and watch some top 8s. But something that I've been doing is that I've been using a little frog as a grappling device in the small, cute little game called Frogun. Jeff, you're checking this out as well?
Yeah, but I played. I put Jeff instead of Grubb. Yes, I did. I played like the first level or so, and was like, I think I get this. It might be one I check in here and there on and play through in like spurts, but. It definitely has a PS1 platformer vibe, and I dig that. I dig the way it looks in terms of that as well. It's like that's what they're going for. It feels like, okay, if you were making a game and you did it at the same time that like Mario 64 was coming out, but you couldn't quite match what Nintendo was doing with Mario 64. Like, this is kind of what you would end up with, but they still have a lot of other fun stuff going on with the frog grappling hook gun thing. Have you played much more than I have? What do you think?
Yeah, I played, I want to say the first 5 or so levels. If you're curious about what this game is or looks like, folks, Dan did a solo quick look that's on the site now, but it really reminds me of Tomba in like the PS1 art style. I can quickly see there being like a like kind of speedrunner scene being drawn to it, because you get a little bit of bonus if you complete levels under a certain time. It's really cute. Something that I didn't really think about doing, because I skipped all the tool tips, is I didn't know you could rotate the camera. And then I was like banging my head against the wall. I was like, there's got to be a path I can't see. Can I move the stick? And then I moved the stick, and there it was. It's a very quick, small game. I just think it looks really neat, and I love anything with a grappling hook.
Yeah, it does. It reminds me of stuff like, you know, Gex and Croc and a bunch of those other ones that came out around that time, and has its appeal to me anyhow. I think if you go in this being like, oh, this is going to be my access to early 3D platformers, many younger gamers would probably bounce off this. It's like, it's too slow. It is definitely much more of a puzzle platformer. It seems like, but I've enjoyed what I've played so far. I don't know if I'm going to stick with it though.
Yeah,
Frogun,
I also
you said
Frogun.
Frogun.
Okay.
It's a frog. It's a gun. It's a Frogun.
I keep thinking that a samurai is going to show up, because I'm thinking of shoguns. Bacalar, you been playing anything? You got time to touch some buttons?
You mean touch corn?
Touch corn?
No, I've played a lot of Shredder's Revenge. That is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And, you know, I gotta say, like, that game, I first played it through once with my son, and we finished it in like a day, and we were, you know, really psyched on it. We went back and played it again, and we sort of like paid attention to all like the little tutorial moves and that whole thing. And like, I feel like that game has maybe, I feel like the discussion about how kind of deep that game can go in terms of what your moveset is, and like all the little sort of like things that you can put at your disposal with, you know, the extra hit points, the combos, the sort of like recoveries and whatnot. Like, it kind of opened up a brand new layer of that game. So we've been playing it the second time through, and really like, you know, and we're also like giving each other like, you know, I can't tell if there is a way to kind of like cheese that game a little bit, where you just have one person fight the boss and the other one recovers their special, and you just sort of like rotate, and you can pretty much knock out whatever you need to knock out. But I think like just the little you know, nuances of like combos and what you can do midair and all those perks that open up, I guess there was like a surprising amount of depth that I will admit I overlooked my first playthrough. But I don't know. I feel like that game kind of came and went, and people stopped talking about it. But I dig it. I really think they nailed it in like maybe the kind of best way you could, given, you know, what that game is. You know, I dig it, man. That's what I've been playing for sure.
Okay. Michael, we had Nerium on a couple of weeks ago, also a Fanbyte.
Yep.
And they tried to poison my brain and throw me into several gaming holes. One of them being AI, the Somnium Files. I've resisted the urge, but please, what are these files about?
So I love the Somnium Files. It's particularly
the Somnium Files.
Yes, so I as in eyeball, AI as in artificial intelligence, and I is also the Japanese word for love. And a lot of these stories have to do with different types of love, friendships, relationships, romantic love, platonic love, like that's kind of like themed around it. And like obviously, like if you know what the game's about, these special detectives have artificial intelligences built as their left eye. So layers, you know what I'm saying? So the first game,
so it's like an ogre. I get it. Okay,
got it. Yes. Got it. Shrek and I, the Somnium Files,
same thing.
One and
same
one.
Shit. The first one I think is good. I got a lot of problems with the first one. The second one, Nirvana Initiative, which is the one that just came out this year. I feel like
okay. I thought the Nirvana Initiative was like a remaster or re-release of
no.
the first one.
It's a sequel. It's a sequel.
Got it.
And it feels like they addressed all of the problems that were from the first game, and this second game is above and beyond what I expected the sequel to be. Like, I didn't review the first one, but I probably would give it like a 7 out of 10 if we were to put scores on it. This one is really hit me. This second one is an improvement on all fronts, and I think it has a lot better characterization. It has a dual protagonist storyline, and the new cat, his name is Ryuki, and he has a new eyeball named Tama. So they have a dynamic that I really
his
really love.
eyeball is named something.
The eyeball. Their eyeball is also their AI companion.
Oh, okay.
And it helps them like see things differently.
Okay.
It's like having a third eye open.
So this is like a visual novel game. Am I correct in that assumption, or is it like
Partially, yeah.
Partially, got it.
It's mostly a visual novel. So another improvement from the first game is that there's a lot more like 3D exploration moments where you can actually look at the spaces around you and do your investigation. So it's mostly visual novel in terms of its storytelling, kind of some point and click elements to it because you can inspect your environment, kind of piece things together to make sense of the story. And then there are moments where you are in a 3D space and you're investigating an area. So conceptually, if folks don't know, these special agents, they link up to a sync machine with the subject, and they peer into the minds of the subject. So they do this to look for information that they want to get out of these people that are either buried in their subconscious or they're trying to hide. So it's like
Psychonauts,
quasi-illegal, kind of. Yeah. That's
just
a good
like
comparison.
Psychonauts, quasi-illegal.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I don't think that was ever in jeopardy of being illegal, like like entering a mind. Like, no,
Well, it's the future. It's just different.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then they're kind of built like escape rooms. It's like you have a time limit. You got to piece together some of the pieces of evidence, make decisions on how to dig up the information you want. There's also branching paths for the story, so different timelines, and how those timelines converge and separate is one of the most fascinating parts of that story, because they can do like Uchikoshi, who was the director for 999, Zero Time Dilemma, those games. Like this is his new jam. So
I've been told that all of those games you just listed are Jan games, and that this one is especially a Jan game. So I feel like I have to do my due diligence to check out the Somnium Files.
Yeah, Nirvana
could I just jump into Nirvana Edition, you think, or would I have to try and parse out the first one?
The game asks you if you played the first one, and I think it changes some of the dialogue options to not spoil the original game, but also probably give better context for those who haven't played it. Okay. I think like having played the first one though, it makes like I can't imagine. Well, you could still very much enjoy Nirvana Initiative without playing the first one. I think it's separated enough, like a new character. It's like a new timeline. It doesn't really use elements of that story, so it doesn't continue a storyline from the first one, but it has references and there's returning characters. But I think Nirvana Initiative is smart because the returning characters are on the sidelines this time. They're not really like core part of the story. They're there
that's cool.
to provide context, but in terms of the characters who matter most for this new story are kind of they're the new ones. So you can jump straight into Nirvana Initiative and still really, really enjoy it. I like understanding all the references from the first game into the second one, personally, but I don't think you have to. So
they pulled a Borderlands 2. They put the first cast of characters on the sidelines and gave us a whole new bunch of cats. All right, okay, yeah. I might. Oh God, I knew
one of my.
I knew when you wrote that down on the document here. I knew I'd get lulled in. Jesus Christ!
I mean, you're doing your stuff. You bring these guys on and they attack you with games they want you to play. This is your own fault, Jan.
Listen,
what a nightmare! Oh my God!
Nirvana Initiative it's my second favorite game of the year so far. Behind Kirby.
Damn.
Well,
behind what?
Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
Interesting.
I love Kirby. Kirby so much.
You said Herbie, and I was like, that's
fully loaded, baby. Lindsay Lohan. She's on her way back.
Yeah, the Lohan. Yeah.
If
the true elder millennial.
Yo. Oh, man.
The one true elder millennial.
Okay. Before we go to break, there's one thing we have to do. And that thing we have to do is address Game of the Week.
Oh shit!
Which is Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Jeff Grubb, you and I looked at about the first 5 hours. No, just about hour or so of that game yesterday.
Yeah, we got through the bath scene, which was I was told was very important for me to get to, and we did. And they took a bath, and I watched it. Yes. I was just a grown man sitting in my basement watching these child soldiers take a bath, and so here we are now talking about it on a podcast. This game seems like it could be good. I think it might be good. I'm not a big JRPG guy, but it got going pretty fast, and that I appreciate. It took a couple of minutes, and then all of a sudden I was controlling the character. That was very nice. And then the things I was doing during that while I was controlling the character seemed pretty fun. The combat seems deep and interesting. And one of my weaknesses is any game that tells me it matters which way I'm facing the enemy. I've loved that ever since Final Fantasy Tactics Advance on the Game Boy Advance.
Positionals,
yes.
Very important.
And it just throws that stuff right up on the screen on the bottom right. There's a big arrow, and it just tells you, oh, no, you're behind the character. So it's like, I can't tell what I'm looking at. This is some alien freak. I don't know what, is this its ass? I don't know. And the game's like, no, yeah, it's its ass. Don't worry. Hit it now with the fast strike. And so you hit that ass. I like it. I think it's cool. And the story is not like driving me away in terms of the, like overwhelming me with weebiness. It obviously is that, but it's not like, it's just going with, okay, here's some character drama up front. Here's like, they're in a big war, and here's some characters that have different views on that. And we'll build this up slowly over time. And I think I'm being drawn in. I'm digging it. Now, only an hour and a half in, but I think I'm getting it.
Michael, you wrote here on this doc that you're playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3. How deep are you in?
I'm not that much deeper than Jeff is, about like 3 hours in, but I feel like I'm with Jeff in terms of like this game kicks off on the right foot. Like, and like Xenoblade Chronicles 1 did that too, where it's like here's a big war, here's your boy Dunban, and then it kind of like sets back, and then you're with Shulk and kind of in this quiet colony, and then it builds up from there. Whereas Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is like, these are the characters who are embedded in this war, who are invested, and thematically, like having watched the direct and then jumping into this, I kind of already know what the tone of this game, and it establishes that really well right off the bat. And I think this is a game that's going to really hit me, because it already is. And it presents you like the themes of life, death, war, and why they're engaged in this war. It's their lifeblood. Literally, it is their lifeblood to kill one another.
These
and
child soldiers.
Yeah, and like the world of Ionios, that is how they sustain themselves, is by killing someone else and taking their
dust.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Just
smoke their dust through a flute. Listen, you revive your flame clock. But I think like conceptually that really hits, like knowing when your time is up, like understanding like, oh, I know I'm going to die either in this war by the time I make it to year 10, or if my flame clock runs out. Yeah. And everyone understands that right off the bat. And it's like, so the main character, Noah, who is, I tweeted about this, about how in these early hours, he's with his friends like Uni and Lance, who are his companions.
You want something meteor, I've heard.
Yeah. Listen, Uni, I know Lance wants something meteor. Trust me, I'm going to give it to him. And they're the type of characters who are just embedded in this war. Like that's their only understanding. Yeah. It seems like at the forefront is that they understand what this is about. Whereas Noah is he's always spaced out. He's looking off in the distance. He's thinking about something. He's always thinking to himself, why? Why is the world like this? And they have that ceremony like after your 10th year, you get like the queen comes through,
you
and
ascend
then
virtually, and she just offs you, and your life essence gets thrown into the machine.
And everyone's just like, yo, 10 years.
Thing, absolutely.
Yes, 100% the Logan's Run thing, yeah.
And then Noah's like, why do things have to be this way? And he's like having these flashbacks, and it's hitting something that I think is gonna like pertain to me in particular, because I think about that shit a lot, about like knowing when your time's like knowing
playing the flute and stuff as well.
Yeah, and ascending with the gods and shit like that. So I really like
about
the mature
Riku
tone
a lot.
Yes.
That's who I think about. I just think about Riku. I'm like, you're a little guy with wings. I don't know what you are. You got hair, but you look like a Jello mold. I'm into you. You got a weird voice I wasn't expecting. You sound like a grown man. What is going on here? I love it.
He sounds like Dave Chappelle's white voice.
Yes, he does. Yes. He does.
Oh my god. I really like the dialogue too. I think like the Britishisms give it a distinct characterization that makes Xenoblade what it is, and they really go all in on that. And I like that they're willing to like, go all out with that type of localization. It's I like Uni probably has like the most British isms in there, and it really makes her character stand out.
Let me tell you, the further you get into the game, Uni is the most foul-mouthed person.
Yeah,
in your
Uni
team.
gang.
Uni gang.
I'm already
yourself.
Yeah, go spark yourself. Jeff Grubb, I would recommend you play at least an hour and a half more from where you left off yesterday. Because the way things escalate, to give folks like a good barometer where I'm at, I'm about like 8-10 hours in, and I'm still getting tutorials. But specifically in the sequence after where Grubb ended yesterday, you enter into a fight. You're controlling a squad of 3. Riku doesn't count. Riku's just hanging out on the side. Your squad of 3, and then you encounter another squad of 3 of 3 different characters, and Jesus Christ, there's like some light sexual tension going on as well. And then
here for it.
And then they're clashing, and everything looks so good. And even though the combat is mostly a lot of just placing yourself positionally, letting yourself auto attack, and then firing off the skills and getting a combo when it's appropriate. Light spoilers for the second, third hour of this game. But those 3 eventually join your party. So now you're just controlling an army of like 9-year-olds as they're constantly shouting at each other and shouting their skills off. It is like
the dream.
It is the dream. It is like absolutely amazing. And this is a feeling that I haven't felt since maybe last year of playing through games with Guardians, Guardians of the Galaxy specifically, and then the year previous to that, 13 Sentinels. And I think I just really like when it's a big party of people just shouting at each other and just trying to control all of
we should get a Fast and Furious RPG. Jesus Christ, they should have a Fast and Furious RPG where they're shouting at each other and there's car combat, but they're still shouting at each other the entire time. Man, that's what we need.
And like the story bits, like Michael, you're 100% right, dude. Like the different depths they're going to, and some of it's subtle, some of it's like very on the nose. And then just like it's so funny watching these people deal with stuff and realizing that the world is so much bigger than what they're currently the bubble they live in and stuff. And the gameplay is fantastic on top of that. I feel like they're rolling out a new thing every hour I'm playing this game, that I'm worried by the time I get to hour 11 or 100, there'll be too many systems going on. My one drawback is that I wish I could play this on a different system.
Yeah,
because this game is beautiful, and it's pushing the Switch to its limits with all its cinematics, and as you're walking through the as you're walking through the worlds. And I know I could do it, and I know it's fairly easy to do, folks. But I just want to do it the legit way, because we don't promote crimes here. You can confess your crimes, but we don't promote them.
Not unless you're Timur Hussein.
Well, right.
He's never committed a crime.
He's never committed a crime. Yeah,
never.
But Xenoblade just puts like a dumb smile on my face, even when it's like just the character to character interactions. And all of the characters that you wind up being in control of, other than the initial 3 of Uni, Lands, and Noah, the other 3 feel very different. And then quickly the combat can get away from you and get very chaotic. But the neat thing about this is that it has an auto battle mode, where if you just want to grind out for levels, or you just want to just not worry about any of these combat encounters, you just roll up, let the computer do it, and then the only thing you got to do combat wise is when there's a boss or like a significant event or like a tutorial happening. But there's so much going on in this game that I love everything that is being dumped on me. You
tell me you got that.
You specifically got to get to the scene where they change their clothes away from their uniforms, because like the way that Monolith is able to get that amidst being in a war setting, right, where I'm not quite sure if this is sci-fi or fantasy, because there's like floating ships and lasers everywhere, but there's also like talk of gods and people with angel wings on their head. The way that they're able to still encapsulate that like teenage like wonder of like, oh, I think that person's cute. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna go over here and turn around. I can't look at you, but like, oh, I'm gonna sit next to you now, and then we're gonna become drift compatible in the same way where like 13 Sentinels, I feel like took everything I ever loved from any sci-fi property. I feel like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is pulling like bits and pieces from like random bits of sci-fi that I don't think should work, but they do, because there's elements of like Power Rangers in this. There's like kaiju battles in this. It's absolutely fantastic, and I'm gonna, I feel, this is just me here, I feel like this might wind up in maybe like the top 5 of the end of the year discussions.
Okay. Buddy.
And like the thing is like, I know that getting into a JRPG is a tall order, but I honestly feel like you can get the gist and you can get like a lot of the good feelings even from where I'm at, like 10 hours in.
Like this isn't a case where you'd be like, oh, after hour whatever. It's not like having to go through a Realm Reborn in Final Fantasy 14, although I think Realm Reborn gets too much shit for what it is. But yeah, like Jeff, you've said it too. I've said it too. Jan also. It's like, yeah, this game kicks off on the right foot. Like it's straight up shows you the stakes and you get the gameplay. And there's, like I said, there's a lot of tutorials hour after hour, but
it was
deep.
It wasn't even that many tutorials, I thought, for what I was expecting. I think they probably just spread them out over time, right?
Yeah.
Like late in the game, you're probably still getting a few tutorials here and there, I would have bet. But
I think some people are like the MMO style combat, it's like it doesn't really vibe with them. But I think that you get deep enough, then you're like very active. Like you have to, unless you're doing like Jan, like you said, auto battles, like you have a very active role in combat, and I think it's distinct enough from like a turn-based RPG, which I'm playing Soul Hackers 2, and it's like these are they're both JRPGs, yes, but like they're very, very different games. And if anything, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 or just Xenoblade in general is like extreme, like you have to be on top of your shit in these battles, and it's very exciting too. And they've cleaned up a lot of how battles work between 1 and 2 to 3, where it's a lot more streamlined, easier to access your skills that you need to do. So it's like from a combat perspective, it's a vast improvement as well.
I'm gonna keep playing it. So my commitment to the Grubby stream on Monday was next Grubby stream will come back and I'll play it for like the entire time, and that'll just be what I play next week. So that'll get me like 4 to 5 hours into that game total. And so I'll take it from there. I'm looking forward to it. I am like looking forward to get back. I realized I'm like, okay, in between I'm not gonna play it. I'll wait till the next stream. So maybe I'll go back and beat Legends Arceus instead. And I'll play that. That'll be my RPG and for now, in between sessions of Xeno.
And again, Jeff Grubb is not committing to beating the whole game on stream, because otherwise he's going to play this
endurance run. Let's go.
Yeah.
We cannot invoke
that's what I heard.
Shut your dirty mouths. No, you stop this. Stop this now.
Honestly, Grubb, I just want you to
I want to see my children someday.
I just want you to meet the character that you're going to meet like maybe 30-40 minutes away from where you're at in the game currently. God, it's so good.
Chat scared me. Said, the next thing I was about to get into was a 40-minute movie. I'm like, oh no, that might be the thing knocks me off, but I bet I'll be fine.
Yeah, it's a really good 40-minute movie for what it's worth.
Okay. I'm
well, I guess one thing to be clear, like they're in their 9th year doesn't mean they're 9 years old. Like these characters, their first year, like they're not human. I guess maybe there's a twist later on, or like just you'll find out more about how these people are come into existence. But like year 1, they're already like in their like 12 years old training to become combatants, and then by like year 8, year 9, they're like adults who are embedded in this war. So it's like some time is weird. Time, they're on JRPG time, but like conceptually, it's very different.
Just like Giant-Bomb, they're built different, you know?
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
But oh god, I cannot stop singing enough praises about this game, especially because there's a lot of JRPGs coming out. And I put way too much time into Digimon Survive, hoping it would turn around and get better. And and it has just done nothing but disappointed me, and I'm really upset. I was telling Sebmal that I think I hate Digimon now.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's fucked up.
it's messed up. All right,
It's got an 81 on Metacritic. Digimon Survive.
I don't.
So I mean, some people like it.
Some people like it. It's just like the visual novel aspect. I know a lot of people that were fans of the Cyber Sleuth series. Were hoping for that similar experience. It is not that experience at all. And like the tactics aspect, it just isn't doing it for me. Also, they're just bad tiles. Just bad tiles.
Yeah. Oh, bad tiles. That of course that's going to disappoint you. The user review only one here says this game is a huge steaming pile of garbage. The greedy developers are charging $60 for a slideshow. Are you freaking kidding me? So I think that's the fair assessment right there. Yeah, he gave it a 0 out of 10, by the way.
If you only have a Nintendo Switch and you have $60 to burn, for as much as I like Live Alive, I'm gonna recommend Xenoblade Chronicles 3 over that. Because it's absolutely fantastic. I'm so excited for you, Grubb. Committing to.
I'm excited too. I'm excited too. I haven't played too many JRPGs, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
Bacalar said, "Fuck this shit."
Yeah, man. Too many. Man, we weaved out on him just 1 minute too long. We've lost Bacalar for the audio listeners.
Yeah, it's a really fun time, and I know that JRPGs are like an enormous task and endeavor to get into. But if you are at all curious, please give it a try because the whole package is absolutely fantastic. And since Jeff Bacalar looks like he's taking a break, I think we should take a break as well.
That sounds good. Yeah. I agree.
You know what's hot? Brands. And with Squarespace, I can do everything with my brand. My brand can remain strong. It can be flexible. It can become a store. We can start from just a website, but then let's claim a domain all using Squarespace. And once we've solidified that brand, I don't know, like branded hot dog holders. That's right. Jan is presenting branded hot dog holders to hold the glizzies to make sure they're all nice, soft, and toasty. That's right. And Squarespace can help me do all of that. It is an all-in-one platform, y'all. I can get the domain there. I can get the website there. We got all these tools of analytics to see how people are receiving and responding to my hot dog holders. You know what? The whole thing is just so dang easy to use, and with their world-class design, I can make my dreams of a hot dog holder website, blog, e-commerce store all in one place thanks to Squarespace. You know what? I can start selling these right now. We can sell gift cards, so you can send your gift cards to friends that are hot dog enthusiasts and may need something to hold their hot dogs. Well, I got you because Squarespace has got me. And buying a domain from Squarespace is easy as well. We could choose a .com, a .net. Maybe we could start a .org and start organizing other people that also want artisan hot dog holders. And you know what? Everyone uses Squarespace. Everyone from different industries, whether you're a restaurant owner, a jewelry designer, a wellness coach, or someone starting a artisan hot dog holder business like myself. And you know what? Squarespace has got me. I can just make a fantastic website with a couple of clicks. Everything is optimized for mobile. And if I ever have any problems getting my artisan hot dog holder business up and running on this fantastic domain and website, Squarespace has 24/7 award-winning customer support. If you want to start your own artisan hot dog holder business or other website or whatever dream you got going on, head to squarespace.com/bombcast for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the offer code BOMBCAST to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Hot dogs. It's in best practice generally. If you get a flat tire, you should probably pull over to the side of the road and try and fix the flat tire. But sometimes if you can't fix it yourself, then you gotta go call someone to help you fix the flat tire. And sometimes that's what you gotta do to help make sure that you got a healthy brain going on. That's why there's BetterHelp Online Therapy. Sometimes you feel guilty pouring out your feelings to your significant other, your friends, or your family groups. You feel like you don't want to encumber them with your problems. But that's what therapy is for, y'all. Getting stuff off of your chest, contextualizing all of this stuff, and making sure that your brain, your mind is in tip-top shape. And that's why you should seek out a therapist instead of pouring your problems into the person helping you fix your flat tire. BetterHelp is online therapy. They offer phone calls, video calls, or even just live chat therapy sessions, so you never even have to see anyone on camera if you feel a little bit nervous or self-conscious about that. And it is exponentially much more affordable than in-person therapy. If you need help, you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/bombcast. That's betterhelp.com/bombcast. Really quick anecdote. So, sometimes before like the band will go up for a concert or a music festival, they'll just have like a DJ set or just play a bunch of songs. Sure. Most recently, well, not most recently, but I went to a show and then they played the Black Parade, My Chemical Romance's Black Parade, before the headlining act, and everyone was losing their minds, including myself. So yeah. We were talking about MCR during the break, and oh gosh.
Look, I need to be transparent. Like when I was growing up, MCR was sort of like not after my time, but like I was so into up my own ass. I was so up my own ass with like the shit that I was into, where I was like, I almost didn't give them a shot. It took a couple years for me to just be like, all right, these guys actually fucking rip.
Yeah, I feel the same.
Yeah, like certain bands just like hit like that, and you're a piece of shit when you're under 25 or 30, and you just do these things where you're like, you gatekeep, and you're just a fucking piece of garbage. Like
gatekeep yourself. Like you're like I wouldn't let myself listen to My Morning Jacket because I'm like, that sounds like one of those bands. I'm like, it's not. They're not. They rule.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. I would beat the shit out of my younger self.
Yeah, constantly. Wow. Every 5 years ago at all times, you're a motherfucker.
Yeah. Like MCR is like, that's the popular emo band. They don't know about my fucking Yakuza poster keeps falling off.
That's a sign.
That's a sign. It's telling you something.
And not to mention like all like a New Jersey, like possibly on the New Jersey, Mount Rushmore of like punk rock, right? Like,
yeah, dog, I have to support every single rapper that comes out of the Bay Area because I have to, even if they're trash. Not all of the HBK gang is great,
like
like who? Say it with your chest, boy.
G-Eazy is a terrible rapper.
Yeah. Well, Jeezy isn't HBK gang though. Like
he's like tangentially related.
Yeah, like cool. I fuck with Cool John, Sage Gemini. Jen and I have to like Pilo no matter what. Like Pilo will be like, all right, you're towing the line on problematic, but you're our friend. We have to take to the side. Be like, oh, yo, chill.
Exactly. Yes,
we handle ourselves, but that's our guy.
How badly do you just want to talk to yourself, right? Like
what? I would get so mad at myself. No,
if I saw myself,
you don't understand. You're so stupid.
You're so stupid. You fucking little idiot. Oh my god, I get so upset with like remembering how I used to feel.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm like just thinking about. Sometimes I just like be sitting on BART having a good time listening to like a podcast, and I'll remember some shit that I used to do when I was like 14, 15, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
I can't believe I was like that. So
can we can work a feature out or something like that where it's like hating your past self.
Oh yeah, you have old stuff you've written on the internet, Jeff Beckler. You want to go back and read that now live for everyone else? That sounds like a nightmare.
I wasn't that kind of guy. I was just like thankfully it was just much more like an in real life situation.
Thankfully, my Zanga and my Tumblr have been deleted.
Fantastic.
Smart move.
Well, I think it's now time to talk about the news. First headline, Grubb, if I can jump the gun, is your past self, and this goes to everyone, your past self was always a dirtbag. You weren't as cool as you thought.
No,
dirtbag, baby.
Anyway,
That's how you grow. That's how it works.
shouts out to
all right.
Reedus.
Nice.
I move this up because of the Evo talk. Street Fighter 6, Kimberly and Juri got announced. Now we've known a few of the characters coming in Street Fighter 6. Yeah, we know Luke, who looks like his dad is friend with a DA and got him out of several convictions. But Kimberly and Juri, however, looking pretty cool, coming in with feet and spunky attitude and spray paint. Looking pretty cool. Michael Higham, what do you think?
I'm excited. So yeah, Kimberly especially. It's nice to have like a black woman who's like designed in a way that I think a lot of black folks in the games space have been like praising her design, and also voiced by an Iris Quinones, who's not upcoming. She's already like a huge voice actor in the anime space.
Right.
So she's able to voice Kimberly as well. She made the announcement as Kimberly was being announced, and her trailer is incredible. I'm so excited to play Kimberly. It really feels like it's another reason why you look at Street Fighter 6 and like, oh, they understand, they know what they're doing with Street Fighter 6, and I feel like it's really putting like Street in Street Fighter. Like this feels like it's something a lot more earnest and in line with what Street Fighter, what I would envision it to be. And also Juri coming back, I think Juri's cool. I didn't play her much previously, but listen, if y'all into feet, Juri's the character. But and they have plenty more characters, and like Capcom has said before that when they've been asked about like, hey, we saw the roster, and they're like, don't trip, we have a lot more exciting stuff on the way, so don't wait. But it's like the worst kept secret, obviously. But yeah, these announcements are exciting, and I imagine they're just going to keep rolling these out little by little as we get closer to next year and Capcom World Tour. So this is again another reason why Street Fighter 6 seems like it's building up to be something worthwhile.
Yeah, we got until 2023 before it comes out, so there's plenty of time for them to like just slowly announce these things. Absolutely.
I'm really hoping that they can stick with this positive momentum they got going on, because like when it first got announced and we all saw that logo that was repurposed Adobe Express art, it left a really bad taste in my mouth. But after seeing it at Summer Game Fest and then just seeing all the other stuff they're adding, it's like, okay, all right, Capcom, I believe you. All right.
Seems like they figured some stuff out there for sure. They haven't used that logo again since, right? That logo seems like it has been sent to the Phantom Zone. There was other Evo news I think we can go through quickly. We talked about this a bit on Game This Morning earlier this week, but new Fatal Fury. Anyone like moved by that? I thought that was this is the first one in like almost a quarter of a century.
Jesus,
so that's
that long.
Yeah, like 23 years, I believe. So this is pretty cool. I mean, again, Higham, do you have any history with Fatal Fury?
No, I don't think SNK. It was. I never really got into like King of Fighters or Fatal Fury. I respect it. I respect the hell out of it. But Fatal Cuties. Fatal Cuties. SNK Heroines. So I'm getting things confused.
Right.
SNK Heroines. Like I don't know if y'all are into that, but like King. I feel like King of Fighters has been at the forefront for SNK, right? For
Fatal Fury. Shouts out to the Badger boys out there.
Yeah, so that's cool. It's always nice to see that like these legacy franchises still have life in them to kind of cycle through as the FGC kind of evolves. So always exciting to see stuff like that.
There was a potential Tekken sequel announced. They did a ranking of Tekken endings offshoot. We are in the process of talking to our lawyers.
Sorry, like
that's our gag.
Yeah.
But then that faded into a modern version of Kazuya, right? I can never remember his name.
Jin.
And then one of them. And then but he just smiled at the camera just like he does in all his endings. And then that was that. Yes, thank you again, Marino, backing me up there. Kazuya just smiled at the camera, and I think we are to take away from this. They're making another Tekken, which would be wild. Obviously, they're making another Tekken 8. It seems like the timing is right now. Tekken 8 is also a game that has been in the NVIDIA leak, although, of course, you wouldn't need Tekken 8 to be leaked to know that they are working on it.
Yeah,
right? But, this is like the first. It seems like this is the beginning of the marketing for this game, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so the thing is, like, so Harada he's like a shit poster in real life. So Harada was like getting hype with like Tasty Steve and everyone in the commentary booth. But the thing is, like, there's no logo, it was just the transition to like the new generation of and that's that kind of that little teaser, but they didn't put a title on it. So at first people were like, oh, is this like Tekken Tag 3? Is this a Tekken remake? Is this Tekken 8? And Harada's like, don't ask me for shit. Who knows what it is? Like, I'm pretty sure, like,
it's just the next generation of family members throwing each other off cliffs is what it is.
which I'm down for that. But yeah, Tekken 7's been around for a long time now. It's been 7 years, I think, because it hit arcades in 2015.
Jesus,
I believe. Right. I was surprised it's been 7 years when they realized
I love Tekken 7 has had a long tail too, so it feels like the time is right to kind of start teasing a new Tekken. I don't know. Personally, I feel that, I mean, there's a lot of things that Tekken 7 can improve on, but Tekken just always felt like a complete game from a mechanical perspective. It just feels like, where can they go from here? Because I love Tekken. I've been playing Tekken since 2 and 3 on PS1 in the arcades with Ford. So I'm like, what does a new era of Tekken look like? How does that play? We'll see.
You are the volcano this time.
Hell yeah.
I just want to play those parts of it.
But I'm sorry, go ahead, Bacalar.
I just want to play those parts of it. Like, my only exposure to Tekken has just been the endings. I don't think I've really ever played a lot at all.
Do they have endings for the guest characters? Because I would love to see Negan's ending in Tekken.
I don't know who that is.
Have you seen The Walking Dead?
Oh, I was going to say, is that the dude from Walking Dead?
Yeah.
That guy's a freak. Oh my God. They put him in Tekken? Yeah. Actually, he kind of fits in with their fucking bullshit.
Noctis is in there too, if you didn't know.
He's actually a little too normal.
Like, this guy's thing is just a bat?
Like, relax there, you pedestrian ass villain. Like, damn. Wow. Okay. But no, I don't think there's special
nuts
endings for them. I don't understand that game. I don't understand that series. How are those the ending? How do you finish the game and that's what you get? You get some weird like video of people stealing each other's shoes and they roll credits and you're like, sick, that was worth the price of admission.
At a certain point, like just getting any sort of like video at the end of a game was a prize. And I think Tekken just kind of kept with that maybe a little bit longer than some other games.
Yeah,
that's
and like in the PS1 era, like if you play through the arcade mode, win the 10 matches, get to the like kill your dad or whatever, and then you got a cutscene, like that was hype. As a kid with a PS1 game, it's like, oh shit, there's cutscenes in this game? Hell yeah, I want to see shiny martial law with no nipples out here. Like that was a prize.
Fratricide, absolutely.
Show me these FMV children.
Yeah, there's a whole legacy of I mean, y'all know where y'all at with ranking Tekken endings at this point?
I think we just did 6.
Okay.
Yeah,
we just finished Tekken 6. I still maintain I love Mokujin. I love his bullshit.
Mokujin, yeah,
dude. And then when they do like the Adult Swim version, where it's like some poor bastard in a suit, just like doing a real life fucking video for that, I thought that was amazing.
Yeah,
he's my favorite for sure.
Oh.
Shouts out to
That'll be coming up next Friday, probably. So yeah,
that's right, Cumbot.
Cumbot?
Yeah, Cumbot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I love all the last thing I'll say about Xenoblade Chronicles 3 in this episode of this podcast.
Yeah, let's go.
I love, because of their accents, I love how they say comrade, because it sounds like they're saying comrade.
Comrade.
Anyway.
That's a good word.
Comrade is for live streams on Pornhub, of course. So
okay.
All
Shouts
right.
out to my comrades out there.
Thanks to Comrade. Hope your stream was good. Arcade One Up has an MVC2 machine coming, a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 machine. It looks gorgeous. It looks beautiful. I like these little arcade machines. I don't care if they're like, three-quarter scale or whatever. They're nice. I like them. And this one's probably one of the best looking cabs that they've done so far, just because that Marvel vs. Capcom 2 art is so damn delicious. And it's got like 8 games on there or whatever, but basically all of the X-Men and Street Fighter crossovers and the X-Men standalone fighting games that existed up until Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So that's pretty cool.
It's sick.
Yeah, I think I might pick this machine up, honestly. If it's
Nice.
$600, like everyone's saying, that seems like probably the right price. And I'd be like, I've been looking to get one of their fighting game machines, so this will probably be the one.
And I got hands on with like arcade 1-up stuff every time I go to CES. Jeff, you know what's up with CES, baby.
No, I erased that from my mind.
And I miss the days of you and I. Doing
Yeah, I do.
CES,
I do miss those moments, those precious moments, which only represent a fraction of the time that we spend there. But yes,
Yeah.
those are very special times I cherish.
Yeah,
them.
those arcade 1-up machines are built well, and like MVC2 is a classic. I play a lot of MVC2 back in the day, get my ass whooped. So this is shaping up to be something worthwhile. It's dope.
Let's see. Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl is getting Hugh Neutron, and no one cares. No one seems to care about this game.
That's what's up.
Hugh Neutron.
Jimmy
Is that Jimmy's
Neutron's
dad?
I think it's
Okay,
Jimmy
yeah.
Neutron's dad. Yeah.
Dude, you're telling me you're giving me Jimmy Neutron's dad? Come on.
I think Jimmy Neutron is in like the base game. I think,
Yeah.
and so
Jimmy Neutron, known character. Hugh Neutron. Who is that? Nobody fucking knows. Nobody knows.
He's like the weakest Nickelodeon dad, I think.
yeah. I've
imagine if
never
your
heard
dad-
anyone meme him or anything. Like it's like he's not even on that level.
Like,
So-
damn, imagine your dad's a fucking herb. You hate to see that.
What was Tommy Pickles' dad's name?
Stu? Oh, why
Oh,
isn't
Stu was
in
a
the
herb
game?
too.
Stewie
Wait.
Pickles? But if you put
Jimmy
Stewie
Neutron's
Pickles,
not in the base game. Is Jimmy Neutron in the game at all?
what?
Because if
Whoa.
Hugh Neutron's in there and Jimmy Neutron's not, what is happening here? What is going on? Is there
That
some
can't
kind of
be.
legal?
I don't understand that. How is that possible?
I accidentally typed Bimmy Neutron. Bimmy
I'm sure you
Neutron
got
is not in the game.
Plenty of results.
Bimmy Neutron said, "Sue woo."
Here's the problem. None of this matters because Multiverse is eating this game's lunch and dinner and the rest of its life. There is no future for Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl, and I want to state this on this podcast. So if it ever does come back, someone can clip this for me and be like, "How wrong you were, Jeff." Here you go.
It's the Hugh Neutron of those kinds of games. For
fucking
sure.
the Huey
Wow.
Neutron, absolutely. It's cruel. It's cruel, Bacalar. How dare you say that? Dragon Ball Fighter Z is getting rollback netcode. GGPO for everybody. It's only on like the modern consoles, the current gen consoles, not last gen. But if you care enough about this game that you want it to get rollback, well, you're probably playing it on the new systems anyhow. Is this going to bring you back to it, Mike?
I'm interested in it. So yeah, you get there's an upgrade path for if you own it on previous consoles. There'll be an upgrade path for those who own it, and then also rollback. And listen, so it was like 2:30 in the morning when Dragon Ball FighterZ finals finally wrapped up on Saturday.
What?
And everyone's tired as fuck, and like everyone put a lot of energy into watching. Like Dragon Ball is always hype. Every time there's like a super that goes off, everyone's like, "Yo!" So we were tired as fuck at 2:30 a.m. and then the Capcom or the Dragon Ball FighterZ producer, she comes out and she's like, "Hey, we have an announcement. New gen versions. Also, no more content updates, but we got rollback." And everyone's like, "Yo, rollback." They got hype. We got hype for rollback. Everyone's rolling that back out. So.
My understanding is that fighting game fans, if you want to like make them happy, you deliver them some rollback, and that's all you really have to do.
Honestly, it's a way to kind of give life to if you don't have any more content updates. The thing that's really going to instill some extra life into a fighting game is put in rollback. I hope that happens for like Persona 5 Arena Ultimax, my favorite fighting game that just got rollback like a couple weeks ago or last week, or actually a couple days ago, and I really hope that it revives that scene a little bit, because like nowadays with like a lot of things online, you have to have rollback to survive if you want to sustain an online community for a fighting game.
Roll that back out.
Roll that back out.
Another thing you could do is introduce a new character like Bridget to Guilty Gear Strive, who is a trans woman. Pretty standout addition here. This is pretty big stuff. What's been the reception in the FGC? What I've seen, people seem pretty positive about this.
Hell yeah. I haven't so Bridget just came out yesterday. I haven't had a chance to hop back on. So that was a surprise announcement, and like the next day it's like, yo, once you get back from Vegas, Bridget's gonna be out. But yeah, it's very positive. Like a lot of people have tried her out and said, yeah, she's an exciting character to play. Also, Bridget just has like there goes my Yakuza poster. Goddamn,
You're falling hard, dog.
Sega, come on, Sega, send me another one. But yeah, I think
It's broken.
And it really seems like from like trans folks have been very, very happy with Bridget, and like Arc System Works just straight up coming out there saying, "Listen,
Confirming.
this is Bridget's story, and she's a trans woman. And if you actually play through the story stuff in Guilty Gear Strive, you know, Gold Lewis Dickinson is kind of like the companion character who kind of establishes some of that narrative to help establish that. But like Arc System Works isn't playing around; they're just saying like this is who this character is. And Bridget has had, if y'all don't know, has had a kind of a messy history on like the Guilty Gear lore. But finally, like with Strive, it's like no, this is her backstory. It is what it is, and I think it matters. So for the folks who are like invested in this kind of thing, this really matters to them, and that's very important to establish a character like that. And like Arc System Works not having no ifs, no buts about it. Like this is who the character is. So that really means a lot for those who care, and like trans folks finally having that character straight up. That's who they are. And then like for others who are heavily invested in fighting games, it seems like Bridget is a really exciting character to play. So across the board, this is a great addition to Strive. I love Strive straight up. It's like probably one of my favorite fighting games in the last 10 years. So
it's a 1 million copy seller as well. The first time a Guilty Gear's done that. I think it's the first Arc System Works game to reach that milestone. So pretty big stuff happened. I mean, to me, that just says, oh, fighting games are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger again. Nice. And it's good stuff for the entire scene.
Nice.
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We talked about this on GMM last week, Jan. I'm kind of bringing it back here just to like let people know who listen to Bombcast. Yeah, this stuff happened. They had their little Pokemon Direct. You get a legendary at the beginning. One of the legendaries is a motorcycle that runs on legs because it's a fucking abomination. All that stuff. But I think I was trying to find out, does this game have open world Pokemon catching? Like you see a Pokemon and you throw a ball at it, and it seems like it does. Is that right, Jan?
Yes, I'm under the assumption that this is going to follow the same kind of path that Legends Arceus is doing, where you are exposed to like maybe not completely open world, but you get exposed to an area and then you can do catching and whatever is around, because that is where Pokemon should be moving forward. They do say that you can tackle the gyms in any order, so maybe it is completely open world. Dang, I should finish Arceus.
Arceus is. I like Arceus a lot.
I like Arceus a lot from what I've played.
What's up, Bacalar?
I need your help. I need your help.
Here we go.
Are we going to talk about the bread dog?
A little bit.
Okay.
So I kind of got called out a little bit this weekend. We were in a toy store. My son's watching like a Pokemon Netflix show right now.
Okay.
He's like super into it. It's recent, like last 5 years maybe.
Okay.
And we're in the toy store. It's like a local mom and pop place. So like they're, it's very they talk to you. It's like a nice place to be, right? My son struck up a conversation with the dude behind the register who looked to be like roughly my age, and they were talking Pokemon things. And the dude's like, "Who's your favorite Pokemon?" And my kid said, fuck did he say? I can't remember what he said.
He said, "My dad won't let that in my house. It's against our religion."
I mean, he might as well have said that. The guy, and then I forget what my kid said. He asked the guy behind the cashier, and the dude's like, "Snorlax." And then that guy goes to me, and he's like, "What about you, Dad? What's your favorite Pokemon?" And obviously I said my bullshit. Herdier. I was like, Herdier. And he's like, "Oh, that's cool." And that was like it. That's all I could do. They went on talking. I lost my son momentarily while they continued to speak about Pokemon. Jan, you gotta do a master class.
Okay.
Where you basically be like, "I'm Jan Ochoa, and I'm going to masterclass your ass in the world." And
Bacalar's going back to school.
I mean, that's it. Like, this is what we have to do. We have to train. It's my training. It's my Pokemon training. I don't know anything about it. I don't get it. And now my kid's asking me questions, and I feel like I'm not serving him. Like, I feel unfulfilled. I feel like I'm doing a disservice.
Arceus? Have you tried Arceus?
No.
I don't think he'll like Arceus.
I think there's a chance he'll like Arceus.
Okay.
It's probably the highest chance that he'll like a Pokemon game, I feel like.
But it's not even the games. I just need like a straight up tutorial. Like I need a crash course of like, what is this? Like
Let's-
it's like My Chemical Romance. Like I came in right before it popped off. You know,
Two
like,
things
it's
that'll
like,
make me cry: the Black Parade and Ash turning into stone. I gotcha.
Oh god.
yeah. It's just like I'm just so close to the. It was like 96 where I feel like it blew up, and I was like, I guess I wasn't too young for it. I don't know. Maybe I was just again shitty old backlar of my old self, where I was.
You hate
son of a
everything
bitch.
that people
I was-
like.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Pokemon,
you were
real
like
cool.
getting your driver's license for like right around then, like when it was coming out and stuff. You had, the whole world was open up to you.
No, 96. I was
90s.
only 14.
You know what?
Okay, no, but like it was like in your like immediate future.
Yeah,
Of like okay,
yeah,
you're gonna
like-
be getting like things are gonna be happening beyond
Jeff,
games.
Definitely. I remember colleagues of mine like being very much into it and me discounting them very severely.
Just
Also
the type of
because you
person.
referred to your friends as colleagues. They didn't like that back a lot.
No, they're like, what
14-year-old
colleague?
backlar.
What the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah,
damn.
you're the type of person to cry about Green Day selling out once they
Yes.
signed on to a major
Yes.
label.
And then like later on, I was like, I couldn't be happier for you.
Yeah, get paid. Yeah.
yeah, like absolutely.
We'll do an episode of the very online show, but it's just me and Barbara Jan because Barbara Jan is also well versed in Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm gonna need help. I realize I have a problem. I'm asking for help. I need you to help me. So
Yeah,
this is
let's-
how we make progress.
Let's blow that Bacalar out.
Yep. Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, Super
time,
Punch Out has this. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you
Next
saying?
time someone asks you what your favorite Pokemon is, Bacalar, just look them dead in the eyes and just go, Mr. Mime. And then
Mr.
just
Mime,
Oh,
walk
see,
yeah.
I know
They'll-
Mr. Mime. Okay.
They'll know you're a real freak if you do that. Absolutely.
I feel like that's like a hidden message that I don't want to send, perhaps.
Yeah.
but-
They'll give you their hotel key. Absolutely.
they're just like wink, wink, and they just like slide a piece of paper over to me. Yeah,
I have
don't know.
Mr. Mime cosplay. Meet me here. Yep. Super Punch Out's secret two-player mode has been found after 28 years. This is incredible. From unlisted cheats on Twitter, while doing some request work, I casually found some new cheats in Super Punch Out for SNES. All secret codes in this game use two button combinations. Two of them are known, sound test and Japanese name input. But there are two more. At the title, hold Y plus R and then press A or start. Following screen will appear instead of the regular menus. And this screen is a character select screen where you can choose to fight against any one of the bosses in the game just from like the get-go. But you can also do B plus Y. And then if you do that, it'll open up this two-player mode where now the person that you select on this character select screen will be controlled by the second player. Now, this only works if you do these combinations on the second joypad plugged into the Super Nintendo, and then someone on the first pad is pressing like A and start or whatever to get like to actually enter the codes. This is why people haven't discovered it before, because it required like combining these two controllers. Otherwise, people obviously would have stumbled on this stuff. But it works. Apparently, it works on the Nintendo Switch version of the game.
Oh,
you
wow.
could just do this
What
right
the
now.
hell? Damn.
It's 28 years.
I saw
That's
Seb
incredible
Mall
stuff.
was talking about this, doing two-player Punch-Out, and I thought, Seb Mall, you're insane, buddy. What are you talking about? There's no two-player Punch-Out.
Yeah.
Right. So to me, this means now Nintendo Switch has that built-in online stuff for its Super Nintendo and NES stuff and N64. I believe that what we have to do is each one of us chooses a boss, and Dan Reichert has to try to go through us and beat us all.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
And I think we have a feature. I think we have something we can
He
do
is the
there.
most little Mac ass motherfucker.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're gonna put
Actually,
him
he's
in
more
this
like a
place.
Flamingo Joe, dude. Really, when it comes down to it, right?
Yeah, I can see it. He really looks like
He
him
is.
too. He's got the hair, same hair pattern. Absolutely.
It's just like first boss, motherfucker.
I'm gonna beat him with Glass Joe. That's my plan.
Wow.
Yeah, that's gonna be really insulting. All right, the Sonic Movies producer is working on a live action Pac-Man. This comes from Andy Robinson at VGC. A live action Pac-Man movie is currently in development, it's claimed. According to the Hollywood Reporter, the big screen adaptation of the arcade classic will be based on an original idea by Chuck Williams, the producer behind Sega's successful Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Williams will produce Pac-Man alongside his company Lightbeam Entertainment and Wayfarer Studios, it is claimed. Listen, I never thought Sonic could work as well as it does, even though I don't necessarily love those movies. They make a lot of money, and kids seem to be really into them. I still am like, even having that evidence right there, I am still going to be skeptical of a Pac-Man movie working.
Why are they talking about like that? This is the first Pac-Man movie. Has they not seen American classic Pixels before?
Pixels.
I knew you were going to go with fucking
Fuck
Pixels.
it.
I know,
Make
I
Pixels
know.
2.
I know. Why are you putting that energy out into the world? Number one. Number two, that wasn't a Pac-Man movie though. Like it wasn't strictly about Pac-Man.
You look at any of these movie posters, and Pac-Man is like right there. He is
dominant figure, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. He is the Death Star of this movie poster.
And we've always said that.
You know,
absolutely.
I think we've turned a corner with video game adaptation movies in the last
Sure.
5 years or so.
Yeah.
So I trust that they'll figure it out. Like they'll make it work.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the crew to probably do it, right? This is the crew that has made decent movies that have made a lot of money.
That's what it is. It was a problem of not getting the right people attached.
Totally.
That's what it was this whole time. I think that was the problem.
Who's like the go-to Pac-Man voice for y'all?
I mean, I just want to have Danny DeVito's voice coming under that little
that's good.
freak. Oh, that little yellow pizza pie. Yeah.
I was thinking J.K. Simmons would be a good Pac-Man
That'd
voice.
be very, very good. Very good. It's got to be someone with gravitas, right? There you go.
Actually, what's his face? What the dude from Usual Suspects?
Kevin Pollak?
No, not Kevin Pollak. The that'd be all right too. The Agent Kulian, like Chaz Palminteri, that dude. That'd be all right.
Christopher Maloney is actually who should do it. I think it's time he becomes. He should be the new Chris Pratt and be voicing every character in Hollywood.
Speaking of someone who's caked up,
double caked up, absolutely.
Yeah, that's the that's that boy.
Holmesy and Jet said Harvey Fierstein. That'd be sick. That'd be so sick.
I would love that. God damn it. All right. Speaking of movies from the Sonic team,
Larry David should be a ghost.
Yeah, it'd be very good too. I would enjoy that.
What am I doing here? What is this?
What
dead?
Then you immediately going to eat me? This isn't fair. The Sonic 3 movie release date has been confirmed. Paramount and Sega have confirmed the planned release date for the third Sonic the Hedgehog movie. According to a tweet from the official Sonic movie Twitter account, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 will be released in cinemas on December 20th, 2024.
Nice.
Awesome.
Just when you'll need it the most. Absolutely. The GIF that they put with this has Sonic, it has Tails, it has Knuckles, so I bet you can assume all three of those will return. I've not seen Sonic 2 yet. I think I've heard what happens in the post-credit scene there.
I've seen it 11 times, so ask me anything.
Okay, well, spoilers for Sonic 2, and if you haven't seen it by now, I have to assume you do not care. There are plenty of ways to see it. It is like Rouge the Bat, right? And
yes, Rouge the Bat, full-on topless at the after-credit scene. It's wildly problematic.
We have to end this show right now. I got something to do. I gotta go do something.
You zigged, but I thought you were gonna zag. I'm sorry.
There's a reason why they call Big the Cat Big the Cat.
So it's not Rouge, then it has to be Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah,
that pervert.
Dude, can I tell you something? My poor kid gets sucked into like watching videos where he thinks he's like watching Sonic 3 already.
Oh no.
So again,
has that ever happened to you with anything where you've like pirated something or watched something somewhere and you like? Because I did that with Harry Potter. With Harry Potter, I was waiting for Harry Potter 5 to come out, and I started reading it, and I got like halfway through this like EPUB version of it, and it's like there was a really long time
Did you
spent.
send this email in? I feel like this came in once.
I might have sent this in as an email. Yeah, it's been a.
Grubb forgets we know your entire life already because
it's a very similar story. I remember hearing this story in an email. This isn't exactly the same, but it happened with me where you get halfway through and Harry is spending like pages and pages trying to convince Dudley to get really into Monty Python. And I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, what is going? This can't be real. And then I'm like, oh wait, the book hasn't come out yet. Never mind. All right, I'm an idiot.
It's weird because and obviously we have like we found a way to really control the sort of like stuff he watches, obviously, but like every now and then I'll be like sitting down with him and I like I'm on my iPad or whatever, I'll look up and I'll be like, Dad, I found it. I'm like, what'd you find? He's like, I found Sonic 3. It's out. I'm like, oh, you're such a dumb little idiot. Like, you don't realize. And then, like, motherfucker is the first to be like, the Tooth Fairy clearly can't be real. But then all of a sudden, in the same breath, be this gullible little moron. And like,
that's how it goes.
I guess
Yeah.
You know, so I'm very excited for him when I drop this news on him when he gets home today. He's gonna lose his shit.
Exciting.
That was me. Like anytime like an album is about to drop, I used to go on like Dat Piff to get like a leak of it.
Yeah.
And then all I would think it's like, oh, this is gonna be the new Kanye or whatever. And
Real
then,
trap shit.
Exactly. It's just tracks with like DJ Longback and it's just stuff like that. And it's like, well, this isn't Kanye.
The bait and switch, classic.
God.
Classic bait and switch.
Yeah, but
think
now we
one
all
of
know
them-
about DJ Longback, and it really worked out for him.
I think one of them wound up being like a Lil B mixtape that was like re-edited. Shouts
Oh,
out to Bass
yeah,
God.
hell yeah. Based on another Bay Area legend.
Bass
Let
God.
me tell you. Yeah.
Square Enix is looking to sell stakes in its studios. This is a weird
Delicious.
one. Yeah.
It does line up like pretty tasty sounding.
Get some
Yeah.
Square Enix steaks. Yeah, that's who I trust to make me that real good
the best
beef.
steaks.
This
Yeah,
one has
that'd be
zippers on it.
Marmot steak.
They
They
were
already have
explaining
Marmot
that.
steak.
It sounds delicious to me. They were explaining this to investors, and apparently the idea is that they want to bring in other companies so they can move capital around more efficiently and use that money to then create ideas together with these partners. David Gibson, who is an analyst based in Japan, reported this from an earnings call from Square Enix. He said some of the studios will remain 100% owned by Square Enix, but some of these other ones, they will partner with potentially companies like Sony or Tencent or Nexon to come in, and those companies would take a minority equity stake in some studio, whatever. I know Luminous Productions, who's making Forspoken. Then come in and get a little bit of chunk of that, and now we're in this together. And I don't know. It seems to me like this is a plan B or maybe a plan C after what I think was the plan A fell through, and that was maybe Sony comes in and purchases Square Enix. That doesn't seem like it's going to happen anymore, right?
Yeah, not with this news.
They're talking
I
about
don't
this kind of
probably
stuff.
so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Square Enix has Square Enix has proven that they are not great at handling external studios that are under their umbrella, and that's obvious with like Eidos Montreal and like what happened with Hitman, with IO. It's like, maybe in the I love Square Enix, like their output and like in terms of like internal development, obviously with like Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, all these properties that I know and love.
Quiet Man.
And then, the Quiet Man. Yo, listen. Some real Square. I feel like Square Enix every year has like a fucking joint
Yes,
of the
they
year.
do.
There's like Quiet Man, Left Alive. What's the most recent one that they?
Balan
fucking
Wonderworld.
Balan's Wonderworld, and then
Babylon's Fall. Yeah.
Babylon's Fall, baby.
Man, one a year. They
Game of the year.
don't miss. In missing. They don't miss in missing.
Was
Yeah.
Babylon this year?
Babylon's
Yes,
Fall
it
was this
was.
year.
No.
Yeah.
That's so
I-
weird.
out of-
That does
think it's-
not. Yeah.
Speaking of cringy shit that you've done in your past, let's rewind a year ago at E3 2021 when I was hosting E3 and Greg Miller
right,
said,
the
"Hey,
Tetris
jump."
thing.
Yeah, the Tetris shares. Greg Miller was like, "Hey, jump on stage, and I know you're excited for Babylon's Fall. Why don't you hop on stage and like get hype?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, let's go!" Because at the time, I thought like Babylon's Fall was gonna be like a Drakengard continuation.
Oh, poor
This
Michael.
oh my god, Golden Boy was like holding my hand. He was like, "Listen, bro, it's okay. We can bounce back." And I was like, I am so fucking disappointed. I can't. I knew like when the cameras, of course, when the cameras on, I was like, listen, we'll see when it comes out. There's some promising things. The art style looks like ass, but maybe it plays well. It's Platinum Games. When that shit dropped, bro,
Greg knew. Greg set you up. This was
Yeah.
all Greg Miller's fault.
He thought it'd be
Goddamn.
kind of funny. That guy.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, yo.
AppLovin offers to merge with Unity in $17.5 billion all-stock deal. AppLovin is a kind of a company that like works in the mobile space a lot. They're also sound like fucking McLovin.
Yeah.
So it was either between that or Mohammed for their name, right? Is what it was, okay. This was another one where it's like, okay, I don't know where Unity is at in terms of like trying to figure out what it's going to do for its future. Obviously, it does not have the cash cow that Unreal has with Fortnite. So it's like they are trying to make a bunch of different stuff happen, and it seems like they think their future is in squeezing every last dollar possible out of the mobile space. And AppLovin's like, well, if you want to do that, let's merge. Here is $17.5 billion in all stock, and you can come in and have a 49% sort of control over the new company that exists. this is a proposed deal. It's not like something that we are to understand is definitely going through, but it's on the table. And if they've gotten to the point where they've proposed it with details like this, it's a possibility it could happen. I think the response I've seen so far from indie developers working in the space, those studios that would very likely consider Unity, many of them are like, maybe it is time to just fully jump onto something else. It's probably time to go get Godot or something else and learn a new thing that I can maybe reliably expect to be around in the way I need it to be around and serving my needs instead of serving some other, like 70 other masters out in the mobile gaming space. And so, yeah, I think this is probably the beginning of the end of what Unity was, and some new future of what Unity could be, and who knows if that's going to work for it.
17.5 billion. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I mean, Unity, it is a very popular engine, especially in the mobile space and for smaller games. And, some big publishers even use it for some of their stuff. Yeah. Like a lot of like digital card games use Unity and stuff. It's just kind of, it's well known, and there's a lot of people who are very skilled in Unity, which like increases its value. But yeah, 17.5 billion.
Yeah, Unity's out there. Soul Hackers 2, I was surprised, is built on Unity.
That's the one that's the one I was trying to like remember. Soul Hackers 2 built on Unity. That's right.
I was kind of surprised by like, I know Unity's out there, but I didn't know it was like pervasive in like the AAA space as well. So
so go get Godot instead. Arc Raiders has been delayed. This is a game from that Embark studio that hasn't released anything yet, but it's from one of the main guys that founded DICE and then was high up at EA. He was the one that was like, everyone needs to use the Frostbite engine at EA, and then he left EA, and then everyone's stuck using the Frostbite engine. He's going on to make something in Unreal, conveniently. And they're making Arc Raiders, which is debuted at, I think, the Game Awards. It looked really interesting. They said it was coming this year. It is no longer coming this year. They said in a blog post, "We've got a number of super talented people with ample first-person shooter experience here at Embark, and the development of Project Discovery, a different project, has progressed faster than we first imagined, especially over the past few months. So much so that we started facing the prospect of being able to release 2 games simultaneously. For a young, relatively small studio like ours, releasing 2 games in short succession would have been a strain on our teams and our resources, many of which are shared between the 2 projects. As such, we decided to let Project Discovery be our studio's first game to market, pushing Arc Raiders to a 2023 release. It's a decision that will allow us to expand and refine the Arc Raiders experience." It seems like the big difference between these 2 things is Project Discovery is a PvP shooter, and Arc Raiders is a PvE sort of, almost like Destiny-like to a certain extent. At least that's the impression I get. It's hard to nail these things down because they haven't talked about much of these things. One of them is still just called Project Discovery. Like, I don't even know that doesn't seem to have its final name. They said they will have more on Project Discovery soon, though. Do any of you remember like seeing the Arc Raider stuff? I got pretty excited about it just based on it being like pretty exciting coming out. Like, it was one of the better looking games from the showcase that it was in, but we haven't heard anything about it since. So
yeah, I remember the sort of branding of like the game's kind of like packaging, but
like
that's
yes,
retro future,
kind
sort
of
of
like Atari thing.
Had that early third party Atari stuff going on. Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's about it. It's tough to get emotional about something like this getting delayed.
Yeah,
right?
and it also feels like they make decisions based on what makes the most sense. I wonder if there's a world where this Project Discovery takes off and we just never end up seeing Arc Raiders, but hopefully that's not the case. All right, let's wrap up here with some earnings. Nintendo announced their earnings last week. It had 4 million, or they had 4 first-party 1 million sellers during the quarter. That was Nintendo Switch Sports, Mario Strikers Battle League, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Wow, good for Kirby.
Unfucking believable.
So I think that Kirby number is like, I think because Kirby came out in the quarter before. So that's on top of it. In total, 4.53 million copies sold of Kirby.
Wow.
Yay. Makes it the fastest selling Kirby easily. It's probably going to be the top selling Kirby if it's not already. There's some like wiggleness with the first Kirby game, which is like maybe it sold like 5 million copies, but that's maybe not an official Nintendo number. He's so
wiggly.
squishy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. Forgotten Land, though, doing very well. Switch hardware sold 3.43 million units during the quarter. It is now at a total of 111.08 million. They still expect to sell and ship another 18 million Switch systems before the end of the fiscal year. So over the next 9 months. Yes. So that'd be a total of 21 million, 22-ish million for the year. When you hear that number, Beckler, I still my response too. That's still a ton. Where do you guys think that puts a potential Switch successor of any sort?
Like pushes it further down the line, right? Because like if I'm Nintendo and people are still buying this and the projections look right, then why bother making a new thing?
Yeah, like why rush it out? But there's like obviously there's a gap between like where games are. Like for example, like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is like this is pushing the Switch to its absolute maximum, and you could tell that they are that thing is. My Switch is like running out of breath trying to run this game, but also like they still put out like quality games that don't need to have that kind of like new gen type of hardware. Like PS5, Xbox Series X is cool and all, but Switch is like probably having one of its best years. Well, we'll see when Bayonetta 3 comes out, like how that game is going to run. But as people who are playing these games, like you can really see the limitations of the Switch. But at the same time, if they're pumping out 20 million in a quarter, like y'all still buying
20 million a year, 20 million a year, yeah.
20 million, sorry, yeah. But 20 million a year, I'm like,
I think it's a constantly evolving situation with the Switch because there's, we've hit a point where like a lot of games will continue to come out and will run just fine on that platform. Not the horsepower demanding stuff like Bayonetta or whatever, the AAA stuff comes down the pike, but like I don't see there being a reasonable short-term, mid-term plan to sunset support for that platform. So like you'll have your next Switch, but like I just feel like in the way that legacy platforms get sort of abandoned, I don't see that necessarily having a similar sort of play out with this platform. It's just too pervasive. There's so many units of them out there in the wild. It can continue to print money just by having access to a store.
It's also why we don't see many PS5 exclusive games. Like everything's on PS4 and PS5, so it's because PS5 is so like they need to support that system, and like obviously like Nintendo knows like if we have like more than 100 million of these things out there, we're not going to drop support for it at all. But Breath of the Wild 2 though, like that is also another game that's got me thinking like they could just probably stick with Breath of the Wild ones, the way that game is designed in terms of like graphical power or whatever. But
it's funny, that is like occasionally one of the worst performing games on Switch.
I know,
like,
and that was important.
They've updated a lot since launch, but you're not wrong. It's still 30 frames per second, stuff like that. Absolutely. Jan, did you have something to say before I move on?
It just baffles me because like I feel like the last console generation where folks had like multiple devices was maybe like the 360 era. But that's only because like 360s were breaking down.
The red rings.
Some folks would. Some folks would, instead of rather shipping it off to Microsoft to get it fixed or getting it repaired at all, they just buy another 360. With Switches, like I know that families will share Switches, right? But are people like buying new ones for themselves?
Yeah, I mean it's so you say the 360, but think about the handheld side and the way people would buy new 3DSs and new DSs multiple times. Nintendo is 100% in that lane with this thing. There are a lot of people who buy a lot of extra. There's a new Switch to buy. They do that. The whole strategy here is to sell to the people who are most likely to spend money on your new hardware, which is always for Nintendo, like the same 15 million people or so, and we're just like we'll buy anything they put out, and so. And then with our old systems, we'll either hand it to a kid, give it to a family member, sell it on a secondary market. All that does is create more people buying games. It's a strategy that's worked for them since the Game Boy.
Yeah,
I know three Switch families. I know three Switch families. Like, and they're crazy. Yeah, they exist.
I got an OLED. I have the original. I bought an OLED. I know a lot of people like getting a Switch Lite as the one that they take wherever they go, and then they still have one docked at home that they never take out. So yeah, it's like there's 50 million people playing Switches, and they all have two. So that's how you get north of 100 million.
This household has two Switches.
There you go.
Dang.
I mean, I think I have like 4 or 5 in this house, but I bought 3/4 of those. So
just bought one Joy-Con for the other one.
Just one single left Joy-Con. I've made it work.
This.
I've made it work. I'll say that there's a couple things I think could make Nintendo move on that I hadn't been considering until Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And there was a story, I think it was on Eurogamer. I'm sorry, I can't remember exactly where.
Eurogamer. Sorry.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. That's how you pronounce it in Xenoblade Chronicles language. It says, hey, we might be reaching a threshold where piracy is becoming a real problem for the Switch. And
Really?
Yes.
I didn't realize. Is that a huge thing? I've not checked in on
so
that.
that's the thing. Is it's like it's always been there, bubbling under the surface. The thing with the Switch, it got cracked early on, and one of the reasons I think that they did that early revision of like the new battery model was that the hack was baked into the hardware, was baked into the chip, and so what they did was they tried to put out a new version that had like all that stuff patched up, and they're like, oh, and it has longer battery life and all that stuff, so go buy this new version of the Switch instead. But so ever since then, people have had the Switch cracked open, and you could run Android on it. You could do all kinds of stuff with the Switch. Most people, I mean, these games have still sold very well this entire time, and people are like, it just seems like now with the Steam Deck and being so easy to play these games on a Steam Deck, it's sort of like raising the profile of the ability to pirate these games and play it on PC, play it wherever you want. And the I don't know if there's any like hard evidence. It seems to be the suggestion is like people are like playing a wait and see game of like, how is Xenoblade Chronicles 3 going to perform in terms of sales, and will it seem like piracy is hurting it? And I think internally at Nintendo, like that's just one more weight on that side of the scale of like, now it's time to pull the trigger, because you already have like what Higham was saying, like, oh, there's developers saying, hey, we want more power, and sales are beginning to like, they've leveled off and started to come down for the Switch. As much as it's selling really well, it's not selling as well as it once did. And so it's like, okay, maybe it's like, okay, all these factors get put together and we do pull the trigger sooner rather than later. But I don't know.
Especially like Steam Deck's market share is quite small now, but it's only going to grow bigger and bigger as Valve can put more of these out, which again, like you said, will raise the profile of alternatives that maybe run Yuzu pretty well. I don't know. I don't know how Yuzu runs on Steam Deck, but
it seems to run really well. I haven't done it myself, and I actually wouldn't do it myself.
Yeah, because we never committed a crime.
Yeah.
We're all like Tam out here.
Crimes.
Yeah, but I mean, like, yeah, it's like Switch's novelty of being a handheld console is, Steam Deck isn't really hurting the Switch right now, but there can come a point in which it does kind of start to get them thinking about like, oh shit, well, now we're not the only one who has this novelty in our back pockets. So what's the next thing? Nintendo's loaded; they'll be fine. But it's just like constantly playing that game of being on top.
21 million Switches sold this year. That's another big weight on the other side of that scale, where it's like, why would we disrupt that? But who knows? They might have reasons to try to figure out ways to capture that momentum. Take-Two also reported their earnings. GTA 5, excuse me, at 170 million units
We're working
sold.
on 7. He said it. It slipped.
It's going to come eventually in like 30 years. Grand Theft Auto series in total is at 380 million units sold, which is just nuts. Red Dead Redemption 2, 45 million units sold. Just pathetic.
That game is so boring. Why?
Whoa. Hey,
Hot
Dan
take.
Riker. Damn.
I love cowboys, but damn, that game is boring.
And that's where it ends. You love cowboys. You love the cowboy simulator.
You don't want to go to Tahiti? That's fun.
Red Dead Redemption series at 68 million units. Take-Two announced they confirmed to investors they have 8 new iterations of previously released titles in development. It was basically remasters. I would imagine many of those iterations are going to be mobile versions of console games, things like that. It's something Take-Two has done a lot of. But the big news to come out of this from Take-Two is that they have delayed Midnight Suns till next year, not really even giving it a definitive date. The new date also says the new listing has it for PS5 and PS and Xbox Series X, but there's no mention of the PS4, Switch, or Xbox One versions. And so it's like these things seem like they are maybe not going to happen anymore. Midnight Suns, the XCOM sort of offshoot with a card game system. I want to play this thing. I think it seems pretty interesting. I think that they got blindsided, but like we showed it off. People got real mad that it was a card game. We need to like hide the fact that it's a card game. And I think they've been trying to do that ever since. And now it seems like they haven't not succeeded at that, which is kind of a bummer to hear about. Are you any of you interested in Midnight Suns?
Yeah, I love XCOM. I love Marvel, and I love cards. It should be right up my alley. The folks that got really upset about it, I didn't quite understand But then I guess a lot of folks got upset when they first saw Neon White, thinking it was like a card game.
Like a deck builder. They think it was a deck builder.
Yeah.
No, vastly different from that. So I'm just under the assumption that Midnight Suns is not going to be a straight up deck building card game. I think the thing that was off putting is just like how everything looks and their weird uniforms. But man, this makes me think like it's never going to come out now.
Yeah. Oh, I love tactical strategy games though. Like, I feel like that's a lot of potential for like storytelling purposes. I like how strategy games lend themselves to personal narratives of like how you progress through the game and having all these different characters that people know and love, and so it seems like a winning formula. But I don't know if tactical strategy necessarily has this sort of wide appeal. Everyone, like people who play XCOM love XCOM. People who play Fire Emblem love the Fire Emblem, but I don't know if it has. Personally, the thing I'm thinking about is like if it has wide appeal even with this IP. So I don't know.
Let's see. Rebecca Valentine did a good write-up of this whole earnings report. One thing she noted is Take-Two is expecting Zynga to account for a whopping 45% of its total net bookings for the entire fiscal year ending March of 2023, with 2K making up 37%, Rockstar accounting for 17%, and Private Division making up 1%. So as big as like Grand Theft Auto is, and Grand Theft Auto Online, you're like, oh, that's going to be all the money that this company is making, right? No, Rockstar 17%, and all of the money is coming from mobile games and Zynga. It's kind of just puts things in perspective, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the AppLovin story was wild that they would actually be good for $17.5 billion, but based off of these numbers, like,
yes, there you go.
The mobile market is insane. Because
I mean, it's about access, right? It's so easy for anyone to start playing a game on their phone.
Yeah.
And we talk about all the time, like the coming out of the pandemic, so many more people have bought consoles, and that's going to like create like a lingering effect of more people playing games. But man, that barrier of having to buy a console is such a huge deal, and it's such a barrier to getting people into the industry and spending money. So mobile races that.
I also think they can't I think they very much rely on each other though.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like I think they have this sort of cosmic attachment to them where like they just kind of don't exist in vacuums by themselves. Would you agree with that?
You're talking about mobile game? I'm sorry.
Mobile versus console. Like
yes.
I don't think I know a lot of like there's this sort of like undercurrent of fear of being like console gaming being somehow phased out or like
that was a fear like before the PS4 and Xbox One, right?
And it's just like they have this like symbiotic relationship in a big way. Is how I've sort of like explained it.
And I think you're right, and that comes down to like the creators themselves, right? The people who get really interested in making games mostly are probably coming from a very specific console PC side of it. And many of them probably end up making mobile games, and they make mobile games better because they are trying to bring what they love from this older side of the industry. So yeah, I think you're right that they feed into each other. Private Division making up 1%. That's like their sort of quasi indie publishing label. I guess that also speaks to like, I mean, how hard it is to manufacture hits out of like the smaller games and stuff like that. But Private Division has had some okay games, but nothing that's super broken out of that. So
Rollerdrome, right? Isn't Rollerdrome?
I think that sounds right. Rollerdrome. They also did.
I think that's PD.
Yeah, and then they also did the first Outer Worlds, right? Yeah,
we're still getting them fucked up.
Always and forever.
It's their fault. It is their fault.
Yep.
Yeah.
When asked if Take-Two was looking at mobile ports of existing games or spinoffs, I think this is Strauss-Zelnick pointed out Take-Two has historically brought many of its games to tablets and smartphones, but added that what we're talking about when we talk about bringing Take-Two core intellectual property to mobile is brand new titles made for mobile. So they are investing even heavier and heavier into mobile in terms of making their games that were popular elsewhere into mobile versions of those, and it's not just going to be ports. So, I think that makes a lot of sense for Take-Two when they look at what Zynga's doing. They see their future in mobile, and that also explains like what Microsoft is doing purchasing Activision, because a big part of that is King, and Microsoft doesn't necessarily have a big mobile thing that is just raking in all this cash right now. They want Game Pass cloud streaming to turn into that. But in the meantime, King is going to be that. And like I think if they could only pick like one of the three things, King, Blizzard, or Activision, they would choose King.
Dang.
That does it for the news, guys. That's all I have for this week. But yeah.
Well,
Very
thank
good.
you, Jeff Grubb. I feel like I gotta take a quick bricky break. Maybe use the facilities. How do you feel about reading some emails and some quick lightning cues from the GB Discord?
Surely.
Yeah,
That sounds
let's do
fun.
it.
All right.
Love it.
See you in a bit. Hey yo. Yo, I got this puzzle. You ready for this puzzle? What would you do if your business had to hire great people fast? Huh? You got something? Here's a hint. You need Indeed. Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Instead of spending hours on multiple job sites searching for candidates with the right skills, Indeed's a powerful hiring partner that can help you do it all. You can find great talent faster through time-saving tools like Indeed Instant Match, assessments, and virtual interviews. With Instant Match, over 80% of employers get quality candidates whose resume on Indeed matches their job description the moment they sponsor a job, according to IndeedData.us. One of the best things about Indeed, if you're looking to hire as a business, or perhaps you are starting your own startup hot dog artisan holder business, is that when you sponsor an Indeed post, you are 4.5 times more likely to get a hire, according to Indeed data worldwide. Even better, Indeed's the only job site where you only pay for applicants that meet your must-have requirements. Indeed is an unbelievably powerful hiring partner, delivering 4 times more hires than all other job sites combined, according to Talent Nest 2019. Join more than 3 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And Indeed's doing something no other job site has done. Now with Indeed, businesses only pay for quality applications matching the sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/bomb to start hiring now. Just go to Indeed.com/bomb. Indeed.com/bomb. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Wow. I was very stressed out that I wouldn't make it back in time after using the restroom. But don't rest assured, folks, I wiped, I flushed, washed my hands, and then took a deep breath of the flowers outside.
You put the P in Speedrunner.
Yep, P. There we go,
There's
folks.
peed.
It's
There's
there.
also peed in Speedrunner, so
Yeah,
I love
There
it.
we go. Yep.
Yeah.
How do you feel about reading some emails?
Let's
Ooh, my favorite.
do it.
Let's go.
I need someone to make the chords for that because I've been wanting to learn how to play the piano, and that's the only thing I want to learn how to play on the piano. It's just the email
fun.
song.
Yeah. I'm gonna get one of my children's toy pianos, and I'll learn it with you.
Oh my god, yes, please. The Grubb Orchestra. Fantastic. The Grubb Family Orchestra. Bombcast at giantbomb.com is the email address to send your emails to. First one comes from Matt in LA. I'm not sure if you guys have been following the Hoi Fong sriracha shortage at all, but it has been impossible for me to find any available bottles. I've tried many generic and off-brand versions, but nothing quite hits the same as Hoi Fong. For most everything else, I'm happy to get the generic brand, but I'm really struggling to find a good replacement. Do you have any brands that are irreplaceable? Feel free to leave a generic to a category if you don't want to name anything specific. Matt from LA. Brands,
baby. I really enjoy this hot sauce in New Jersey called Jersey Barnfire. They make this black garlic hot sauce that is just the best. And I've never found a similar recipe alternative. I constantly have to go to a specific store to get it. and I can't replace it. And now that I know how it tastes, I'm forever attached to it. So
I think hot sauce is like that because I'm not like going to pretend this is like some amazing hot sauce, but I mean, I just need Tabasco when I'm eating certain foods.
Sure.
It's like the kick it gives me is like I specifically associate with burritos, and I'm like I want to have that kick when I'm eating a burrito.
You want to feel it.
Yeah, I want to feel it absolutely, and like it makes it feel more like fulfilling overall. So. Yeah, I mean, I like other hot sauces, absolutely, but I need that for that. I need it.
What's your like trash tier hot sauce? Like, what hot sauce is like the lowest common?
I don't know if I have anything I like in like F tier that I'm like would be like, oh, that's garbage. But I mean, I usually get pretty disappointed when I have like one of the thicker hot sauces, like the Cholula,
with the wood cap.
Yeah, but also like the Tabasco's equivalent. They have like an equivalent one, like their I can't remember what it's called, but like their thicker one as well. I'm like, oh, I don't like this. I just want it to be like I want to be like mostly vinegar that hurts. That's what I want.
Yeah, you just love pain. I get it. I get it.
Absolutely. Mess me up.
You love Imagine Dragons. You're just a sucker for pain.
That's right. I've always, absolutely.
I've been on like a real hot sauce kick. I forget. I think it's called Frank's. Not Frank's. Not Frank's.
Frank's is like basic shit.
Yeah, Frank's is entry level.
Yeah, Frank's Red Hot or buffalo sauce is very good. I like that a lot.
I believe it's called Dave's Hot Sauce. Yes, Dave's Hot Sauce. I've graduated to the hottest one, and it makes my insides burn. It's great. I did read something recently, and this is probably one of those things where one of us reads or hears something, doesn't do any further research, and just blindly accepts it. This is one of those instances that apparently you liking hot sauce is mildly tied into what you might prefer with S&M because you enjoy the pain. And you're just striving for that little kick.
Welcome to our BuzzFeed article. Let's do this.
Lucille gang.
Choose your favorite hot sauce, and we'll tell you what sort of
which hole you want it in.
What kind of shit you like.
You are into shit.
I feel like the hotter hot sauces have different flavor profiles, though. That's why, like, I want to build be able to handle hotter hot sauces because there's, as you go up the chain, there's a lot. It opens up the flavor
tolerance. Your tolerance unlocks the new level of flavor. Right? Is that what you're saying?
How hard is it? Do you think to like make a quiz on the website, and then we'll just have hot sauce quizzes?
I don't know. Probably harder than we think.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Coding is very hard, actually.
Yeah. I swear by El Yucateco. That's the hot sauce.
Yucateco,
Yep. Yucateco, like, dog. Their Caribbean hot sauce is #1 best hot sauce in the world. Their triple X super hot sauce is. I'm working on that. I'm working my way through that, building up my tolerance. And their green hot sauce is perfect for Mexican food. Listen. You come to California, live in California, you gotta build up resistance to hot sauces and taste the tasty flavors.
It's how you have to operate. It's what comes out of the faucet. So,
with Asian ingredients, there's a lot of arguments about like what is on top. I think it's the only fish sauce I bang with is Rufino Patis. It's the one with the green dot. The green dot's the one to go to. I know that my Vietnamese homies will argue and say that the guy on the boat is the better fish sauce, but I like this one instead.
Patis brands. I haven't gotten that deep into Patis, choosing which ones. But spicy bagong is different. Like if you fuck with bagong, like get spicy bagong. I think it takes it.
Hold the phone and vamp.
Okay. All right. So if y'all.
I was just gonna say for me, the thing is like this. I'm usually the opposite with this kind of stuff because it's like I don't want to be in a situation where I need my Tabasco to get me through. My favorite way to live life is I'm going to go out and I'm going to drink, and then I'm just going to go along with everyone else who's going to tell me this is really good, and I'll eat whatever, and I'll never even learn the name of it. And the fish sauce might be on there. That's fine. I know it's delicious. This rules, and I'm just going to accept it and be like, man, I hope I get to eat that again someday. I'm not going to sweat it too much if I don't, though.
Yo, my favorite thing is when I run out of soy sauce or vinegar, I got to wait till I run out of both, because then I got to go to my local seafood city and pick up the pare pack, which is Datu Puti. This
Ooh.
one, this is the spicy one though. This is the good
White
stuff.
vinegar.
Ooh, yeah.
It's
Whoa.
delicious.
Sukang maasim. Look at all this stuff on the bottom. There's too much stuff
There's-
on the bottom. It's not.
It's got a lot of
Ooh.
sediment there.
Yeah.
We go to the same seafood city.
Yeah,
for-
I bang with
That's
it.
where I got my Mank Damas.
Oh
you know.
yeah, shouts out to that dude. It's not applesauce. It looks like applesauce.
It's is it still? I don't know if it's still ground liver in Mank Damas.
I don't.
I feel like they phased out using chicken liver in Mank Damas, but that shit's fucking good. Yo, if y'all ever had like crispy pork belly,
Yeah, I'll eat literally anything. So
Yeah, use
Yeah.
Mank Damas. It's that's a brand of brown sauce that's vinegar based.
I didn't have lunch and I'm
Tasty.
dying. This is.
Oh no.
Okay, well we'll get through these emails. We'll get.
Oh,
through
It's
these.
okay. It's
no.
okay. No, I've made my decisions. I got to live with them here.
He's squirming in his chair. Help
my
him out.
God.
He's been a little wiggly boy. All right, next email comes
A
from
wiggly boy.
Dan from St. Paul, Minnesota. Hello. Per Jeffrey Grubb's request for more goose fighting emails,
Oh no.
I have an incredibly important goose fighting question. Who would win in a fight? A flock of angry Canadian snow geese defending their little gosling demons?
Gosling.
That's right.
Gosling?
That's a baby goose. Is a gosling?
Is
Gosling?
Ryan
Yeah.
Gosling
Ryan?
part?
It's a Ryan
Yes.
Gosling.
I mean, you have to put two and two together. Like, have you ever seen him? Look at the way he walks. That's a baby goose in a man's coat.
He
Absolutely.
does eat bread weird.
He does. Only off the floor.
Some movie studios attract them. They're like, all right, I got some Wonder Bread here. Let's just go throw it on the ground. He'll show up.
A flock of angry Canadian snow geese defending their little gosling demons. Geese Howard from SNK, Fatal Fury, but not Tekken. His powers, skills, abilities, physical proportions pulled out of the video game in human form, or Goose from Top Gun. He is only armed with his wit, military training, Maverick's essence contained in a pouch on his belt, his helmet for protection, and a volleyball. Thanks, Dan from St. Paul, Minnesota.
I love Goose from Top Gun, but that bitch is dead.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
He doesn't
damn.
stand a chance.
No way.
Shit. Geese Howard not from Tekken though, because Geese Howard is a top tier pick. Geese Howard makes it through the top 8, but I don't know about him from Fatal Fury. I don't have any experience in Fatal Fury, so
I don't think
know
he's
if I can-
yeah, he's gonna put up a fight,
Yeah.
but nothing is defeating a flock of angry Canadian snow geese defending their babies. No way. They're going to. These are dinosaurs. They're just going to
Yeah.
kill you.
They're just little dinosaurs that have just like evolved slowly. They've still got the fight. They've still got the fire from the
Mhm.
Jurassic Age. You're fucked. You're
Yeah.
fucked.
Also,
They're primal
how-
rage characters.
what's the minimum in a flock? That's at least 5.
Oh, that's a good
Geese-
question, Jan.
Like,
let me look it up.
yeah, is it just 3? Right? Three's
Three's just a fuck. You need 5 to be a flock.
right. Okay. Yes. I've been to those types of parties. Next email comes from Johan in New Zealand. In your latest quick look for 2 Point Campus, you were trying to work in the plural for campus. Campion, campuses were suggestions thrown out there, but may I suggest campusy? Thanks, Johan from New Zealand.
Okay.
Campus is
more-
what you listen. That's what you get on, like you said, on a Pornhub stream. Listen,
Yeah. It's also like the right way to like describe a place that reminds you of a campus but isn't quite a campus. You're like,
Let's give me
"Something
that
about
those
this
campusy
place-
vibes.
Yeah, some about this place is campusy but not
campus.
Yeah.
full campus.
by.
Mike Minotti. Yep. Come by.
Whoa, hey, yo.
Next email comes from Matt in Wisconsin. Sing The Bouncer on this week's Arcade Pit brought a smile to my face. Like Jan, I played obsessively when it came out. I still have great fondness for Scion and his crew despite the game's pretty glaring flaws. What I find fascinating about The Bouncer is that a PS2 game that was poorly received on release gets referenced fairly often more than 20 years later. It gets brought up when talking about Nomura's design aesthetic for Kingdom Hearts. It was referenced numerous times during the Quiet Man debacle. It was discussed recently when discussing the evolution of brawlers from the arcade days to now. What other games like The Bouncer do you think are significant enough to be referenced decades after their release, despite poor commercial and critical reception? Matt in Wisconsin.
Oh, this is very much like a. Oh, I was gonna say this is like a Dark Sector thing,
Dark Sector's a good one. Yes.
Two
The D
human.
games.
right?
Yeah, 2 human. Definitely. That's a good one. Yeah.
God Hand kind of falls into that.
Yeah, someone in
Yeah.
chat said that. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. Oh shit, man. There's a lot of like B games that I played throughout my childhood just because they were available. That I
Right.
I don't know if
Speaking of
like
B games, Buck Bumble. Buck Bumble's one.
Yeah,
There you
okay,
go.
sure. Well, I don't think like the licensed Toy Story game from on SNES is going to have like a revival 20 years later. But I remember that game. That game was wild. Like had some cool things going on. It had like a first person levels. It had top down racing levels. It was a side scroller too. And I feel like a lot of games like should draw from those sensibilities where they just have different gameplay elements. Who's to say that Yoko Taro wasn't playing the OG Toy Story game when he was designing Near Automata and all the various gameplay systems along with that? So
Totally.
maybe
Go ahead,
well the original Near maybe it did like Replicant, obviously it's a remake of that,
Right.
but I mean, and Drakengard Drakengard will be remembered maybe sometimes for like the wrong reasons, but Drakengard doesn't play well. I mean, 3 could have played well if it ran better when it first came out, but I think like storytelling wise, both Drakengard and the original Nier will continue to be talked about, especially as Nier has a lot more notoriety in this day and age.
I feel like, chat's bringing up Bubsy a lot, and I feel like Bubsy is carved out its own unique role in the history of video games.
Yeah, that just for whatever reason made me think of Cameo as well. I think Cameo.
Oh, sure.
What's it with you and Cameo? We did the Xbox Series X video on CNET, and you were talking about how Cameo runs on Series X.
Yeah, because I like that game. I feel like I don't know what it is. I realized that game's place in
It's the Xbox's bouncer for sure because it was a
Yeah,
launch game and like people maybe got outsized in terms
and
of their
it's good.
expectations.
That game's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, someone mentioned in the chat Yakuza. Like, listen, Yakuza is a force to be reckoned with now. But yeah, they were struggling. I think if I recall correctly, like RGG it took a while to get Yakuza 5 out in the West, and it was kind of like the state of the Yakuza franchise in the West was still kind of up in the air until 0 came out and really sold people on the franchise and had a revival in from 2017 on. Listen, like Yakuza is very much in the consciousness of Western like games in the West. So that's a good shout because those early PS2 games, they came out tail end of the PS2 also, and it just didn't really catch on at the time. But who knew that RGG Studio had a big hit on their hand that's gonna be like kind of I don't want to say that it changed the industry, but I think it, at least for me, it did, and how I view what I value in games. Yakuza really changed that balance between narrative and absurdist humor. That when I see other games try to do it, I'm like, hey, but I always like in my head, I'm like thinking about like how does this like storytelling wise like
They finally proved that Shenmue could be good.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You know, a game I think about a lot, but I don't like say out loud, and I don't think it answers this question, but I just want to say it out loud because it's been.
Can we guess? Can we guess?
Leisure Suit Larry.
Sure. It's a PS3 game.
The 1957 one, like the weird priest shooter.
No, that was 1883, and that was PS4.
And it definitely wasn't 1883. It definitely was not. It was like now I can't remember the numbers, but it
Was
wasn't.
it 1883?
I don't think it's like 8. No,
The New
it's definitely
Order?
not. You've like broken my brain now.
I think I fucking combined like 11 things. Somehow.
Yeah, 1886. Yes, the Order 1886.
The
yes.
Order
That's only 3 years off. Come on.
Yeah, you basically had it right. Exactly. Round up. Just round up.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a
Warhawk.
No, but close to that release. So like launch. No, all right. Launch PS3. Launch PS3.
Launch
game.
PS3 game?
PS3. Shit.
Final
Fantasy.
Nope. Don't search. You're looking. I see you looking.
I'm like
Folks
looking in
are
my-
saying
in my
pain.
brain.
Pain's a good guess, but no.
Is it?
Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't a launch game, but it was sure as shit close.
Launch window.
to it.
Fantavision.
Nope.
That's PS2, right?
Like
Really?
definitely a developer that is
Yeah,
still
that was
popping and doing it.
Oh, Heavenly Sword is a good guess.
Heavenly
Dark
Sword is the game.
Is it?
Oh,
Dark
shit.
Native got it.
Sword.
Heavenly
Good
Sword.
job. Wow.
Well
You know,
done,
I
well done.
never played Heavenly Sword.
Yeah.
A
was-
game.
it was
Go
cool.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it was cool. It was definitely like it was one of those first PS3 games where you're just like, I hope Xbox knows. I realize they're not selling a lot of these, and it's tough to find. But this game looks really fucking good, and if this becomes the norm, they're gonna eat their lunch. But yeah, it was like a really impressively, like tight, like real tight controlling game. Very satisfying and gorgeous. And it was like the first Andy Serkis thing. Like Andy Serkis did something with the Ninja Theory people, right? Like
he did that. He also wasn't he the monkey in that
Odyssey,
Journey to the West game?
Yeah, Odyssey, right? It was called Odyssey, something like that. Journey to the West.
I thought we'd get enslaved. Yes,
Odyssey. Yes. It was enslaved Odyssey to the West.
Yeah. Yes.
Cool. Nothing wrong with this brain. It's all good. 3 years off, a couple of words off.
Yep. Man, I remember having the fattest crush on the side character in Heavenly Sword.
Yep. Sure.
There's a character in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 that kind of fulfills that same character archetype. Anyway, last email before we get into some questions from the Discord. This is from Ken M. in Queens County, New York. I'm not going to start with a hello. I'm just going to give you 2 lines. Tell me which lyric was recited by Jeff, I love this song, Grubb. 1. I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. 2. I want you to step back from that ledge, my friend. I do.
Wait. I'm sorry. Are we saying, what are we trying to guess here?
Which is the lyric that was recited by Grubb?
Oh.
Right. Which ones did I clearly mess up?
I think you said 2.
Yes, I'm sure I said whichever one is the most wrong. So yes, 2. I'm going to go with 2. I don't remember exactly what I said either.
They didn't actually give an answer, but I do. I do this not to put Jeff on blast, but to ask you what songs you love, but you end up mumbling half the lyrics because who has the time to memorize all these bars?
These are fun questions. They come up a lot, but they're fun.
Yeah.
No one misremembers lyrics worse than my wife. It is appalling. But like lyrics that are so very clear to everyone that we've all mutually agreed on what they actually are, but she will find a way to butcher them in a hilarious fashion.
Yeah, I don't think I actually hear lyrics. I think I just hear the general melody, and the words don't get into my brain. I can't. There was an MGMT song. And it's like I can't. Still don't really. If I know the words, but to me in my head it was always the water is warm, but it's gonna need sugar. And my wife just gets so mad at me because it's so wrong. And that's what I hear, and that's what it's been ever since. So
it's Kids by MGMT, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Thank you.
It's called Kids. Yeah. That's a hit. I listen to a lot of J-rock and J-pop, and I don't speak Japanese, but I've played enough Japanese games where like, like I can pick out like, maybe that's how this is, that's what this means, whatever. So I sing along to Japanese songs. Like I know damn well I'm butchering these words, but you know what? It's all good. I'm
trying to phonetically learn the intro song to Naruto as I watch it on Netflix.
They're gonna change it on you.
Oh, damn it, bastards! All
right. I've sang Yakuza karaoke for Extra Life streams before, and it's
right. That's exactly what I want to do. I want to be able to sing it at karaoke.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. I solicited a bunch of questions from the Discord, from the premium channel. So if you are a premium member and in the GB Discord, get in that thing. I may solicit questions again. I thought these were, we could involve those folks just a skosh more. And we have like babies. 2 handful of questions here, but let's just breeze through these. Weezeman54, best drink on hot summer days: ice cold lemonade, iced tea, or iced coffee?
Arnold Palmer.
Boom. Oh, that's a good answer. If I have to choose, I think the lemonade, like a real lemonade, not any of this like from concentrate bullshit. Like I want it off the boardwalk with like sugar and lemon. I want an actual lemon in the cup. You know what I mean?
Once you get from the stands that kids sell.
Exactly. Give me that. I'll take that.
I do the unsweetened iced tea, the official drink of Colorado.
Oh, that is really good. I love an unsweetened iced tea.
No one wants any sugar in their drinks. They're all health freaks there.
Yeah. Got it.
Permanent Sigh, what soft drink would you want brought back and then immediately regret drinking? For me, it was Crystal Pepsi. It's horrible.
Vault.
Vault? What was
that? Y'all never fuck with Vault. It was like half energy drink. So it was like kind of like Mountain Dew in a way. It's chemically green. It's like this extreme supposed to be marketed as like this extreme sports kind of soda, whatever. I fucked with Vault heavy because you could get it like super cheap at the liquor store by my house, growing up, and so I fucked with Vault.
I miss old Coke Zero.
Oh yeah,
in the black cans.
I hear that a lot. Do they still fuck with Jolt Cola? Do they still do that?
I think Jolt's still around.
I think you could like get it on like Amazon probably,
or like at a Bevmo or something.
Yeah, like a specialty drink store. You almost certainly can get it at a specialty drink store because those things these days have like everything you ever remembered. I didn't do the Crystal Pepsi, but when Stranger Things like season 3 was happening, they like, oh, we're gonna actually bring back new Coke and you can order it. I did that. And I drank it, and I'm like, oh yeah, it tastes like Pepsi. Okay, I get it. And I didn't regret drinking it, but I have a brain where I'm like, I don't ever regret drinking anything. This is sugar. I love it. Give it more of it. So yeah.
El Palo Loco with back to school now or around the corner. What color JanSport backpack? Black, brown bottom.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The one with the brown bottom. It has like reinforced a little bit, so it doesn't like sag, but like black with the velvety
olive green, that olive green.
That's nice. Yeah, you could get away with the green a little bit, but for me, like the black is just because it's going to get torn to shit the first week anyway. So you just you just want to give yourself a head start with how poor you're going to treat that thing. How poor.
2-strap also.
Yeah.
Oh well, that answers the next question. 2-strap for the support or 1-strap to look cool?
2-strap. Come on.
2, definitely. Come on, you can't mess up your shoulders like that.
You don't want scoliosis. You don't want to fucking fuck your shit up. You know?
Right. 1-strap until I was in high school, and then carried all my books with me because I have ADHD, so I would always forget to get my books out of my thing. So I just kept them all with me all the time. So I'd have like 8 books, and so I'd have to use the 2 straps until they would break, and then I'd get a new thing. So
oh yeah, go ahead.
No. You first.
It's a bit of a departure here, but like they make hockey bags with backpacks now. So like,
nice.
I have a hockey backpack where it's like both things, and like it's frowned upon. You know, people are like, you might as well have a roller bag. What are you doing?
Those are the roller bags of the hockey community.
You're like, you know what?
I think kids do roller bags now these days in school.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. That makes. I mean, I used to have a hockey roller bag too, but like, you know what? You put that on the one shoulder, you're walking. No, you gotta distribute that weight evenly. It's the way to go.
Yes.
I had a friend that would cut one of his straps off of his JanSport backpack, undo it from the one strap, and make it into a messenger bag. It looked really janky.
Yeah,
JanSport sells messenger bags, by the way, so you just get one that's designed like that.
Yeah, don't do that to yourself. Chuck Towski, what video game IP needs a horror entry? Horror entry.
You ever say that word? I
a horror entry.
Said that word. I say horror, like horror. Like I'm gonna go see a horror movie, and like my sister-in-law was like, "What?" Because she thought I said horror, and I'm like, what? I'm talking about movies. Why would I say horror movie like that? Why would I ever? Why would you assume that? What do you think I am?
Hey,
I was
listen, feature films coming to Pinot.
But it's weird that you're right, Grubb. Like such a weird thing to say. Like, have you seen the new horror picture?
Yeah,
and these bitches.
Yeah, there's these horrors.
Horror.
Yeah, no, I'm saying horror.
What game is a horror entry? Bring back Yakuza Dead Souls. Wasn't really a horror game, but it was like zombies and shit.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Tingle. The Tingle series. Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land. The next one needs to be a horror entry. Absolutely. And whatever word you want there for horror.
Give me a Katamari horror game.
That's terrifying. Just make it like you're just rolling up people.
Right.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah. Along that same line, what if there's like a Kirby game where Kirby's the villain? And
Kirby's clearly the villain, no matter what.
We'll make it a horror game. I love Kirby, but
give me Rock Band. I don't know, jump scares when I'm trying to hit the notes.
the note highway just occasionally has a monster on it, like
Thorosi, what was the first game that you installed on your Steam Decks?
God of War.
Vampire Survivors was the first one I installed on there. Yeah, and then a bunch of emulation stuff.
Whoa, allegedly. If I had a Steam Deck, it would be Final Fantasy 14, baby. You know the vibes.
No, I don't believe that to be true for you. That doesn't make sense.
That was the first thing I tried to install, and boy howdy, was it an endeavor.
You have to jump through some hoops.
Yeah. Mr. Dr. Otaker Snakes, on the count of 3, have everyone do their most obnoxious YouTube thumbnail face. Okay, so get the mics out of your face.
This is going to go over real well for our audio listeners, but here we go.
This will just be the album art.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Best YouTube face on 3, okay? 1, 2, 3. Beautiful.
That work for everyone? Did everyone hear that?
I need to watch that back.
Listen, I was making a very loud face, I think. So I think they did hear that.
I honestly couldn't even look at you guys because I didn't want to see it.
I was getting in the zone. I had to like dig deep and do my true YouTube face. So.
Apparently, people are a fan of Grubbs. I need to watch that back. I'm gonna start.
I just got a very dumb face. Jan picked a good one out for the Grubby stream on Monday when it was creating a thumbnail, right?
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
For me, yeah, I'm like, okay. In the bath scene, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm down with this. This is great.
Yeah.
YouTube face is a skill you just should not admit you can do. Like it's just one of those things where it's like you're better off keeping it to yourself, maybe.
Yeah.
Not that I don't appreciate your effort there, but
tangentially related to faces.
I thought I couldn't control my face at all. I'm like, I'm surprised people are happy with it. I'm like, I'd be like, hey, Jeff, smile, and I'm like, I don't know how.
Oh man.
My homies and I used to play this game when we'd eat together, and we were figuring out like the tab and everything. Whoever could make the smallest face did not have to pay tip.
The smallest face? What does that mean?
So exactly like what Higham doing. So you just try to make like your face like just really small, just compress.
How do you judge? How do you judge it?
You just know. You just know.
Or someone has just somehow like shriveled their face up.
Right. Like in Workaholics. Yes, that's where we got it from. Just make a little face.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Suck
Jeff's
in,
got it.
Suck in.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Grubb might combust. I don't want to see that.
I feel like I'm being imploded. Like this is what it feels like going in space.
It's a really fun exercise.
Maria asks, which video game character would you build a blanket fort with?
Goro Majima. I feel like he would be really into it.
Chie.
Okay,
Goemon.
I don't have an answer for this. I have no idea.
Someone from
Daisy,
Fortnite.
Says Mike Manani. Daisy. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you go with anyone in Fortnite, it could be literally everyone.
Yeah, LeBron James, Naruto, Ariana Grande. We're building a fort. They know what's up.
Yes.
I just don't know. Like that's presumably one you want to have like intimate not naughty time, but just like intimate close like time with, right?
Just like,
because
sometimes you just want to like lay together and just think about things,
Right.
Relax.
I'll pick Heavenly Sword Girl.
Okay. Pizza Man, what non-video game franchise do you wish to see turned into a video game franchise?
Wait, which
non-video game?
True Detective.
Oh shit! Damn.
60 minutes.
What the fuck does that game? How does that game play?
Listen, I'm not a game developer. I just come up with the ideas. They have to execute.
You constantly have to like. I don't want to say what I was thinking. All right.
I said this a previously tweet. I tweeted this. I want Spy Family, where you play Yor in like a Bayonetta style action game. You play as Lloyd in a Hitman style stealth action game, and you play as Anya in a social sim school Persona Fire Emblem Three Houses style game. Bring all those three things together for one big Spy Family story. Done deal. Greatest game of all time.
Wow, that was easy.
Yeah.
Full House.
There you go. It's a house management sim, and
exactly.
Do you control all the characters like The Sims, or do you are you Danny Taylor? What's the
Tanner, dude? Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry that I can't remember the cast or the name of the characters of Family. Yes. Whatever. Yeah.
Apology accepted.
on behalf of the Bob Saget estate.
R.I.P. Damn.
All right. Mayan1 asks, since Grubb ruled that Bloodsport is a sports movie because it's about a tournament, do we have to consider Mortal Kombat a sports movie now as well?
Shit.
No, you don't. You don't have to do that.
Hey, whoa. Yes. Mortal Kombat is a sport. It's an esport. I witnessed it firsthand at EVO. Mortal Kombat can be a sports anime.
It's a different application.
I was say sports anime. What the fuck?
It's a different application, though. You're like the movie is like the fantastical.
I think the difference here, right? I think the difference here is that Mortal Kombat has a sequel that no longer has to do with the tournament.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of like it waters it down just enough where it's like, oh, the true thing that this is about is all this mystical storytelling and stuff. Whereas Bloodsport, I mean, there might have been Bloodsport too, but it was always going to be about the Kumite. Like it's always about the Kumite. It's always about the Kumite. For me, at least, that's how I live my life.
And last question from the Discord, and again, I didn't get to all of them. There were a bunch of lovely questions from the Discord community. Definitely get in there. There are a bunch of good folks.
For real.
I love popping in and just sending thirst traps in the behind the scenes channel. Anyway.
Yeah. I love that too, to be clear. Like
Lord Maiden doesn't really ask, but they say, I wave goodbye to you guys at the end of nearly every video and live stream. Do you think this is more creepy or more endearing? The answer is more endearing, friend.
Without a doubt. We also wave too. We're just as psychotic. Like 100%. Right. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
I look at my camera lens to make it seem like I'm looking at you because I am looking at you. I see you. We see you.
I'm looking deep. I'm looking hard.
Hey, this is the interactive part. You listening at home, wherever you are, make a little face right now. Make a little face and see how small it can get. Like, you know?
Very tiny face. Make a very tiny face.
There we go. Good job, everyone. Good job.
Oh, just don't get stuck like that.
Yeah, just don't get stuck. All right. That about does it for emails and Discord questions. We will solicit more. I'll have y'all reply to a specific message for next week. Thank you to our special guest, Michael Higham.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Where can we find you on the internet webs?
You can find me and all of my bullshit at Michael P. Higham on Twitter and fanbyte.com. That's fanbyte.com. Hit video game website, fanbyte.com, where you can find all sorts of stuff. And you should go to thelinkshow.com to check out all the Final Fantasy 14 coverage we are doing, which I am kind of spearheading. Oh boy, listen. Patch 6.2, you want to know about patch 6.2 and all the wild shit that's coming to Final Fantasy 14, you know where to find me. You know where to find the hottest coverage. There's going to be a live letter this week on Friday. I'm going to be covering that thing front to back with my boy Mike Williams. And when 6.2 comes out,
love Mike Williams.
Oh, it's over for me, and it's over for y'all. So you can find me doing that. And also, shouts out to Jeff for wearing an RX Bandits shirt. I just noticed that you're wearing an RX Bandits shirt. Yo, third favorite band of all time. RX
I mean,
Bandits.
I seriously cannot say enough good things about not just the band, the music, but also like the people in that band.
Yeah, Steve Troy, Matt Embry are some real ones.
Huge. I think they're touring again or getting ready to tour. They just did. I'd love some new stuff from them, but again, it's not necessary. The archive is more
incredible.
Than enough. Yeah, hell yeah.
We've also got, I say this every Tuesday, but we always have a very stacked week. Tomorrow, Arcade Pit, Game S Mornings. We'll also have a live quick look of Cult of the Lamb. Jessica and a lot of members of the crew have been really digging that. Another episode of Albummer. Wow, those hooligans hit 50 eps. Jeez.
Dude, it's been a full year of albuming.
That's awesome.
After the dump truck, Gorsenio and Jordan asked if I would like to be on the dump truck, and the first album that immediately top.
You mean Albummer? But yes,
Albummer. My mistake. First album that came to mind, but the problem is it's a good album. Was Linkin Park and Jay-Z's Collision Course, because that's that
you can still do it.
That album should have ended racism, though. You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
It should have.
It's what it set out to do. It's what it set out to do. It's
still working on it. There's still a chance. There's still a chance.
Yeah. R.I.P. Chester Bennington. Wow, I'm so sad all over again. We're going to have the Build a Bumper sticker test stream, perhaps. Going to try and get that going.
We are right there, man. It feels like it's happening. Like the keys in the ignition, and we're just
some of these things, people they have lives, things happen, and it's like one thing goes wrong, it's like, oh man, one person can't do what we wanted. It's like, man, it's so easy for things to get knocked off the tracks, but it's gonna happen.
It feels good for Thursday. Yeah. It feels good for Thursday.
We unfortunately have to share our sweet little art boy Justin Vachon with other folks, but
very, very highly in demand. Highly in demand. Yeah,
talented dude.
Dude. UPF on Friday as per usual, but Thursday, Grubb, I see on the schedule we got something called Slow Runners.
Right. So we were going to record that today. We're going to try to actually record it tomorrow. Now it didn't work out for today. Again, life gets in the way. So hopefully we'll get that recorded and ready to go up. That's going to be a Snow Runners like one-off, and we'll see. We'll see where it goes. But me and Riker are going to get in there and play a little bit of Snow Runner. Looking forward to that. Also, after Game S Mornings on Thursday, I believe we're going to try to do Spider-Man. Maybe that's not going to work out. I haven't checked with Rory on that. But so we'll be playing some of that as a live quick look as well. That'll be the stream right after GMM if we can make it work out on Thursday. We'll see.
Oh,
nice.
And unfortunately, after Game S Mornings on Friday, we're going to have more mortuary assistant.
Yes.
Jess and I are a bunch of sickos. Also, generally across the board, we're going to try and stream immediately right after Game S Mornings. So look forward to that in the future. Just random streams. Might be pairs,
keep the stream going,
singles, duos, who knows those. But I
think I would like to see someone play Eternal Darkness on one of those streams weekly until it gets finished.
So that is a thing I would like to do very much. I don't know. We'll see if that time slot works. We'll figure it out. It's definitely a thing. It's on the list without a doubt. Also on the list, and I know we've been promising this for a while, and I feel bad. But just like everything else, life gets in the way. But the Terminator live watch party, filming 40s, whatever you want to call it, it's in the docket. It's gonna happen. It's just tough to get it all lined up and cracking. So
are y'all still drinking 40s on them? Like
no, I even when we were doing it back in New York, when I did like a handful of them, I drank like actual real big boy beer.
Okay.
So
movies and martinis coming to you soon.
Oh, honestly, I will rock that. That's what I'll do for Terminator. We'll call it a Terminator Martini.
That's what we'll do. Yeah, Jan, we still need to run back Henny and Hentai.
Okay, that you do on your own damn time.
I forgot we talked about that.
You made a graphic for it.
I did make a graphic for Henny and Hentai. That probably can't be the thumbnail or the YouTube title this week.
Your computer, if it tries to blur it, there's just too much. It'll be too much trying to render
You put that as a title. People are going to watch the whole thing like, yo, where is the Henny Hentai?
Yeah, they will
get that watch time.
They'll scrub that entire video just for some pixelated goodness. But anyway,
to you,
I don't know why goodness was there, but
I never know how to say this word, but he gotta go.
He gotta go. That's what
we may make little faces, but we are never gonna make that face on the internet because that'll live on forever. Speaking about living on for
forever. Behind these hands right now. I'm doing it behind the hands. They'll never see.
Oh no! Speaking about living forever, the Giant Bombcast will live forever, but we'll see you next week for another episode. I've been Jan. He has been Jeff. He has also been Jeff. He has been Michael. And you have been gorgeous today.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whew. Come raid.
Oh, right. Who are we going to come raid?
Decide it now. I don't have the Twitch wheels in front of me. Also,
Fanbyte.
Mike's still live.
If Fanbyte streaming.
Did I pick the right one?
Giant Bombcast is hosted and live produced by Jan Ochoa, with support from Jeff Grubb, Dan Reichert, Jess O'Brien, Lucy James, Tamor Hussein, Jason A. Stryker, Matthew Rory, and me, Jeff Bacalar. Our theme music is provided by Tom Monda. Our logo is designed by Dave Schopenek, and you can find him online with the handle @Dave Saved the Day. Justin Vachon is our sweet little art boy. And thank you so much for listening. Of course, a kiss on the cheek to you at home.